Howdy, everybody, and welcome to another exciting episode of the Debauchery Circus campaign here on the Random Rhapsody Network. I'm Matthew R. Dawson, your friendly neighborhood host and GM, and joining me around my virtual table today are Junior, Brandie, Steven, and Brie. Say hi, everyone.
Hello.
Hey. Howdy.
Hello.
Now, we will be live this Wednesday, October the 26th at 7 p.m. Central for another random game night, where I will be playing through a random video game and kind of doing commentary on it. Next Monday, the 31st, we will be taking the day off from our regular schedule so that our cast can enjoy Halloween with their families. The following Wednesday, November the 2nd, we will be airing our next episode of Magi Nights, An Echo from the Stars, where we will finally discover what the cultists have been up to in Loroupa City. Now you can keep up to date on everything we do by following us on Facebook as Random Rhapsody TV and on Twitter as @random_Rhapsody. Okay, that should do it for the announcements. So join us as we dive into the world of Loroupa and continue on with the adventures of the Debauchery Circus. And we're back. So when we last left off, the Debauchery Circus had pursued Tenenbaum Griff, a tabaxi under the employ of the Cerulean Syndicate, to a hidden location under the streets of Coltrast's slums. There they were ambushed by more members of the Syndicate who were using the location as a secret base. Lapis, who was very paralyzed, and the rest of the party was severely injured. And Blaznir was forced to vacate his wild shape form and instead act as a defender by summoning a small earth elemental to impose itself between the Syndicate and his friends. This allowed him to also act as a healer and keep the rest of the party team alive and conscious, at least for a little while they all tried to whittle down the thieves bit by bit, while the bar area around them was caught on fire by consecutive fireballs. With the thieves moving to stay in an advantageous position, Corin decided to impose himself between the thieves and his friends, even going so far as to place a wall of force between himself and the party to protect them. Unfortunately, this also placed him as an easy target for the thieves, who eviscerated the unarmored wizard and ended his life. And so, Debauchery Circus. With Corin dead, Lapis barely clinging to consciousness, and the entire underground chamber beginning to fill with smoke from the fires, you all decided to follow Lapis's urgings to make a hasty retreat up the ladder and back to the residence above. You were reasonably sure that the thieves wouldn't be following you, so you all elected to fly back to the inn, and wherever all of this stuff started, and search the bedroom that Tenenbaum had speedily vacated. There you found the innkeeper giving a report to the local constabulary, who was quite interested to hear about the party's activities that evening. Tenenbaum's room turned out to be a disappointment, yielding little more than traveling supplies for a several-week journey. So with the exhaustion from the day's events firmly setting in, Ichabod decided to return to the mansion his ex-wife was staying at, just in case Tenenbaum returned to take revenge on the family, while Blaznir went to the guards to plan out a much larger raid on the base they found. Corin, and Lapis joined Ichabod, where they all immediately fell asleep there on the front step next to the door of the mansion. Blaznir passed out as well while at the guard's barracks. And so, as you all slumber, deep in your own dreams, a question comes to each of your minds. And that question is, what is your opinion on killing others? And since Corin, you're the one who rolled, why don't you go ahead and answer first?
Well, first, I'm going to point out that you forgot the best part of the episode. While I was dead, when Ichabod referred to me as his emotional support twink.
Okay, yeah,
But
that's
as
fair.
for
That's
killing
fair.
people, honestly, Corin wouldn't necessarily have a problem with it, but the thing about being a magic user is that he would realize that for truly powerful people, it is only semi-permanent. So his opinion would be that it is much better to simply make the enemy messed up in the head or afraid of you somehow, so that they don't need to be killed and they just don't want to come after you.
That's something I can get behind.
That's kind of fair. Okay, I dig it. Blaznir, how about you?
I think for the right reasons, it's I'm fine with it. I don't like people doing bad things to other, and if the only way to stop them is to kill them, then so be it. But I don't think it's I want to say it's not his first instinct, but it usually is. So
Fair enough. Lapis, how about you?
I mean, I feel like as long as it's warranted, Lapis is more okay with it. She'd rather not necessarily, outright kill people, but if it happens, it happens.
Okay, I like it. Ichabod, what about you?
Ichabod ain't your typical paladin. He's quite okay with killing people so long as they deserve it. But his bar for them deserving it is probably lower than it should be. So we're working on it, becoming a better person every day.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, Debauchery Circus. Blaznir, you had fallen asleep at the guards' barracks while working with them to organize the search of the Syndicate hideout you had all found last night. You found yourself a quiet corner in a stool, and after casting a few spells into your Ring of Spell Storing that you wanted to do, you fell asleep, and that's where you currently remain, blissfully snoozing as the day begins. Ichabod, you and Lapis had decided to go over and to that mansion, and you fell asleep on the front step where your family currently resides. And Corin is
in my lap.
Yeah, is snuggled up on your lap. Of the three of you, just out of curiosity, who has the highest passive perception?
I doubt it's me. I've got a 13.
Well, you're better than me, so.
Mine is Roll20's being slow. 16.
Okay.
So I guess that would be me.
Yeah, that would be you.
And I have the alert feat, so.
Yeah, you do have the alert feed, so you probably would have started to rouse as you're hearing a pair of voices. You are exhausted, just so you know. Like your eyes, you really don't want to open them, but you do. At hearing this, and you hear two voices. The first is a female voice who's saying, "Are they dead? It looked like they're dead." And then the other voice says, "No, not dead. They are still breathing at least, but it looks like they've been in a battle of some sort." The female voice says, "I don't like this, Maisies. Showing up at all hours, barging in unannounced, and now this? We can't be staying here if that's what we're going to be putting up with all the time." At which point, Corin, you open your eyes to see the tall, pink-skinned feature of a tiefling with black hair and horns, who you recognize. It's Mavesy's, and definitely that's Prudence standing behind him, looking thunderous. Mavesies has a black pole in his hand that at first you think is like a broom handle or something, but then you realize it's much too glossy for that. And you know, like your eyes are kind of open and you watch him as he reaches down and kind of prods Ichabod in the ribs a little bit, trying to see whether or not he's alive.
I snort.
We are alive. We merely came here for your protection, in case the Thieves Guild wanted retribution.
You kind of mumble that as you're waking up, Corin, and you do realize you are still curled up on Ichabod's lap, and probably your head has been on his chest a little bit throughout the night.
Yeah.
Mavesies looks kind of confused at you, and he's like, "Thieves Guild? Why would the Thieves Guild or anybody be coming here to murder? Or sorry, that's the wrong word. Be coming here to murder anybody?"
Ichabod had a stern talking to with the guy who is the superior of your son in the Cerulean Syndicate. Tenenbaum.
Tenenbaum.
When you say that, like you watch, like Ichabod, your eyes are just starting to open up as well. Lapis, you're starting to rouse as well. Just so you know, you had gone to bed at like 3 a.m.
Mhm.
You had fallen asleep here. The sun is shining overhead. It's probably around, probably around 8 o'clock in the morning. You have not gotten your full rest right now. So each of you do technically have a point of exhaustion for you.
Yeah. Let me see.
So
if there's
does that count as a short rest?
It would count as a short rest. You can use any hit points you have wanted to during that time to heal up.
I guess there's not a place on the character sheet.
Actually,
track.
Corin, you're a high elf now,
Yeah,
so
you
you
would have had a
you
full
actually you got a full rest.
Nice.
You do have a full rest, but Lapis
Sexy.
and Ichabod, you do not. So you two have a point of exhaustion. Just so you know, a point of exhaustion, what that does, I think it's just disadvantage.
Ability checks.
Yeah, it's just disadvantage on ability checks, nothing else. So, like, as you Corin, you talk about Tenenbaum and the conversation that Ichabod had, and Mavesies kind of exchanges glances with Prudence a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
And the two of them kind of look back and forth to one another. Prudence has her arms crossed underneath her chest, and she is scowling very disapprovingly and more than a little annoyed. Right.
Just
right
put
now.
in, while his methods may not have been the best, his intentions were true and noble.
What we talking about? I just woke up.
Yeah, Mavesies, he seems more amused by this whole scene than anything else. But like Ichabod, your eyes are bleary and you're kind of having to blink them to clear them a little bit. But you lived with Prudence for quite a number of years, at least 10 or more. No, more like
Our eldest
12?
son is 16.
16. So but you had also like gone away on multiple times stints with the army. So I'm not sure exactly collectively how many years you've been together, but it's definitely more than enough to tell that Prudence is looking thunderous. She's quite angry. She's more not angry.
Rampage.
It's not that she's angry at the fact that of what you're saying about Tenenbaum or anything like that. It's the fact that you're sitting here on her doorstep. She does not say anything to your group. She simply shakes her head and she says to the tiefling, "I'm going to the keep today. Deal with this, Mavesies, while I get ready, please." And with that, she turns and walks away, heading towards the back of the mansion. Mavesies, for his part, he kind of looks at you all and he asks, "Now, do you all need any healing or anything before you go? You're all bloody and covered in soot, and I am kind of curious what it is you think happened last night."
I
What we
think I died.
Oh yeah, Corin for sure was dead for a moment. But in truth, it's not really any of your business. I appreciate the offer of the healing, but I'm feeling frankly fine. And we didn't mean to fall asleep on your doorstep. Our intention was simply to keep watch, after a hard night.
I'll look at him and say, in truth, it is your business because you're living here. We found an installation of the Cerulean Syndicate that was bigger than what we thought it was, and they were trouble.
No, that would be
For
the Syndicate, absolutely.
even seasoned adventurers as us to handle.
Yeah, not all at once.
Well, it sounds like if you chose to tangle with the Syndicate, then you found out firsthand exactly how dangerous they are.
Macy's, I've been kind of curious about something. Because you were a little bit of a lapdog to the Zaim. What's your connection with the Syndicate?
He kind of he gives you a very amused look at your statement, as though like you're just the most quaint little thing on the face of the planet. And he kind of kneels down a little bit as he does. The staff that he had in his hand collapses to about a foot long thing, and he sticks the rod in his belt as he's doing this. And he kind of gets down on his knees and looks at you and he says, "Now, my employment was with the Coliseum itself. I was the MC of there, as I'm sure you remember being given that I was the one who announced each and every one of you. As for the Syndicate itself, well, you can't be a resident of the Margarden Federation and not have at least some connection to the Syndicate, given that they own literally everything in the country. But am I a member of the organization themselves?" He shrugs. "I'm simply what you see. An MC, a performer, and one who seeks to take care of people who are in need." And he actually reaches out and he's going to pump a healing word into you, Corin, because you look really fucked up.
Yeah, I still have some lost hit points. Not as bad as I was.
A full rest.
Oh wait, yeah, never mind.
Yeah, you got a long rest.
Oh yeah, you got a long rest, so you don't need it as much. So we'll say, who is the worst looking out of the three of you? Is it Ichabod or is it Lapis?
I mean, I could use a touch of healing, but
Yeah, I'm not at max, but I'm close.
Okay.
had I known that healing was going to be an option, I may not have used 4 of my hit dice. It is what it is.
Well, he'll go ahead and reach out and touch you, Lapis, and you feel the warmth of 7 points of healing pushed into you.
Mavesies, I am glad to hear that you're not part of the Syndicate.
Well, like I said, anyone who lives in the Margarden Federation has ties to the Syndicate. When I met Prudence, she was working at a soup kitchen there that was owned by a member of the Syndicate.
Oh, that reminds me. I suppose you would probably know this. Do you know if Ishmael told her the truth yet?
You're talking about the reason she had that job? Is that what you're referring to?
Yeah, that's what I'm referring to.
Ishmael spoke to his mother last night about it. They had a very long and interesting conversation about it. She is not happy with him. It's probably part of the reason she's angry this morning. And while seeing you on the front step didn't do any good, it was actually Ishmael himself who found you all there. He came inside and told his mother.
We're making progress.
He obviously did not. Ishmael, in the last year or so that I've known Prudence, he has not been coming around too often. So he and his mother have had a odd sort of relationship this last year, but you showing up at all hours unannounced, you barging in places without asking, you're making things worse. You do realize that, don't you, Ichabod?
Ichabod just sighs. But I feel like Ichabod is really past hating Mavesies. Like, he's past it.
Okay.
So, because like I said, I have a bond only with my eldest son. So it's like, yeah, I'm sad about Prudence leaving me, but after all this happened, Ichabod realized that what he actually cares about is Ishmael. So yeah. I'm kind of over being mad at Mavesies.
And that's absolutely fair. Like, make an insight check here real quick, since you're kind of thinking about Mavesies.
Mm-hmm. I'm looking at him. I'm like, he's just kind of an obnoxious person. Like, I hated him when in the arena because he was just annoying. But but I don't hate him personally.
So
15.
With your 15, you kind of get the sense that Mavesies is more the peacekeeper type of personality. Like, he sees what's going on and what's affecting his girlfriend, and he's more trying to be in a friendly sort of way because he wants to de-escalate the situation.
Not end up sleeping on the couch.
There's like you all heard the way Prudence spoke to him. She's like, deal with this, Mavesies, while I get ready, please.
Oh, I know what kind of woman Prudence is. She needs somebody to take care of her.
and that's exactly kind of the vibe you're getting between these two right now.
All right, I gently put Corin on the ground so I can stand up.
If you stand up, Mavesies stands up as well.
I like that I've been talking to Mavesies this entire time, sitting on the ground with Corin on my lap.
Oh yeah, and like Mavesies was just on the balls of his heel and like knelt down, his arms on his knees, like just talking to you.
Mm-hmm. All right.
Roll a will save to see if you were stroking my hair.
We don't have will saves.
Wisdom save.
I rolled it with disadvantage like I should. Well, actually, this is a save, so it would have been the 17. I resisted.
Yeah, I'd say you managed to resist stroking Corin's hair, but it was difficult.
All right, I stand up and I say, Mavesies, I think I'm finally at the point where I'm ready to listen to other people, so I do appreciate the advice. I won't show up unannounced anymore, but I should hope if I come by in the daytime and knock on the door, I would be allowed to see my son.
As long as you're doing so in a respectful way, I don't see why Prudence would ever bar you from seeing your son. Now, I will let you know, she and I did talk last night, and she wants to find a place of her own in the city. I believe that's why she's heading up to the keep. I doubt we'll be here in the mansion for more than a day or two more, but I'll make sure she lets you know exactly where it is we end up finding a house at.
So he says in the city as in Coltrast?
In Coltrast. If you want to ask further,
does that mean that she intends to stick around at least for a while?
The conversation we had is that if that dragon that attacked really was the Zaim, like you all said, heading back to Rowena is probably not the smartest move for us. And to be honest, in a city where we literally know the local lord, might be better for us. I spoke with Lord Edmund last night, and he did mention he might have a job opportunity. So at the very least, we're willing to stick around for a little while and see what comes of it.
Yeah, yes. Edmund's a good kid. He's a good kid for sure. Well, I'm glad to hear it, Mavesies, and I slap him on the back, but like really hard.
Okay, you know what? I'm gonna make him do a con saving throw to see whether or not he flinches from the hit.
Now, is it intentional hard, or is it just...
I always do that.
I don't know my own strength kind of hard.
I just always do that.
I mean, he rolled a 19, so nice. I'm going to say that, yeah, he took the hit, and you see that smile on his face kind of falter for half a second, like, were you just trying to attack me? Do I take a swing? But no, he's like, no, you were just too hit too hard for your own good. So he takes it, and it's like, yeah.
I see that he takes the hit like a man, and I have more respect for him. If he had flinched, I'd be like, what a bitch. All right.
Fair enough.
I think that went well. All right, Corin. I guess let's pack up before Prudence comes back and unleashes a breath weapon of hellfire upon us all.
Yes. Concussive force has been quite enough breath weapon for me for the past few days.
Actually, Mavesies, is Ishmael home right now?
He is not. Him and his friends left early this morning after they told Prudence that they found you.
Interesting. All right.
He knew what the problems would be for doing that and didn't wish to be a part of any of her wrath.
He's like, I gotta go. This is a smart man, son after my own heart.
It's like, I'm gonna
run away from your problems.
I'm gonna light the fuse, but I'm not staying for the fireworks.
Good
Pretty much.
All right, I'll walk away.
Okay. Maybe sees you out from the grounds, and as he does, he kind of sidles up next to you, Corin, since you're really the most reasonable, talkative person of the group, and he says, "Be careful if you're continuing to strike at the Cerulean Syndicate. I would like to hear more about what happened today." And
yes, at some point you can find me and I will fill you in. I do again apologize for showing up here unannounced, but we felt that if there was to be a reprisal, that striking against Ichabod's family was the most likely, and therefore we wanted to ensure that you were all protected. No one should be harmed because of any mistakes of ours.
well, I appreciate the sentiment. I'll think on these things, but you think on them as well.
Yes.
The Cerulean Syndicate is much bigger than I think you appreciate, and more dangerous than you might expect.
I mean, if they're run by a thousands-of-year-old gem dragon, then I have no doubt.
He watches you all leave before heading back inside the mansion. Where do you all plan on heading?
I would kind of like to go talk to Edmund.
Sure, we can debrief him.
But I also really want to summon Salvatore because it's been too long. Maybe we should get the rest of our rest in. But I do have Find Steed prepared, and I got my second level spell slot back from yesterday when I did the Harness Divine Energy. So I could summon Salvatore.
You can if you want to.
I would say perhaps we should wait to speak with Edmund until we are sure that everyone is of a clear head. Even those who did not die in our skirmish last night are exhausted, and we want to make sure that our information is clear and precise as it can be.
Yeah, I look around and go, "Where's Blaznir?" I think we knew where he was heading off to, right?
Yeah, you did. You knew that he was going with the guards to start organizing their reprisal.
Well, maybe we should pick up Blaznir, go home, or we could just go through the day. I mean, I'm kind of fine either way if we want to take a long rest or if we want to just go through the day and suffer a little bit and take a rest tonight.
I guess the question is this, Matt. Is there a way for, like, making up for missing part of your long rest in any way?
So,
I mean, I could... Well, never mind.
Yeah, so the way I've always done it is, like, if you're interrupted in a long rest and you're going to bed immediately thereafter, you're not losing out much, so maybe you need, like, an extra hour, but you're not losing everything. If, on the other hand, you go and, like, you're running around for 2 hours and then try to start it up again, then you have to start from the beginning.
Okay, would we be able to just, like, pick up Blaznir and then go finish our long rest? Or they finish their long rest?
So if you were to go straight to the mansion right now, and Lapis and Ichabod were to go to bed right now, they'd be able to finish their full rest in a few hours. Okay, if they go all the way down to the guard, which remember, your mansion is at the upper city, The guard
Yes.
place is in the lower city. That's quite a bit of time walking back and forth. You would have to start over again.
Well, Blaznir probably would be fine.
Then,
He's surrounded by guards.
yes, I assume he will be smart enough to stay protected.
And if anything, perhaps he's already back at the mansion.
Perhaps.
I'm actually already dead and making up a new character right now. So
Yeah, the guards
I
killed
mean,
you.
you
Yeah,
did say
the
you
guards-
wanted to play a wizard, so I expected it.
Double wizards.
I'm 2 wizards. Woo!
No double classes anymore. We learned that mistake already.
So if we were to go rest now, we'd be up by like noon.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm down with that.
Okay. You absolutely could do that. Corin, you've already gotten your long rest, so you can really do whatever the hell you want while Lapis and Ichabod are heading back to the mansion to get a few more hours sleep.
That depends. Is Ichabod having trouble sleeping?
No, I lay down, and I instantly am asleep.
Okay.
Probably.
Well, never mind then.
So I can fall asleep anywhere, anytime, any place, instantly.
The mark
I
of a
guess
true
the-
soldier.
Real
Yep.
question is this: what's your insight modifier?
Insight. I have a +7 to insight.
Yeah, because I was gonna go for the old. Oh, you told me to stay with you, so I did.
Let's see.
But I don't think that would fly.
Are you trying to crawl into bed with me, Corin?
I'll just go to Ichabod, or not to Ichabod, to the Edmund, Lord Edmund.
Okay. You're gonna head to Edmund at the
Mhm.
keep. Okay. You absolutely can do that. So Lapis and Ichabod are snoozing away at the mansion. Blaznir is still passed out at the guard station, but he's going to basically wake up in about an hour or two. And Corin, you make your way up to the keep, which isn't a far walk from the mansions, so you can easily go and head up to do that. Edmund, you find, by the time you get up to the manor, is in his office. He just finished breakfast, and he's actually sitting there working on some ledgers with one of the ministers.
Afternoon, my lord.
Oh, Corin. It's good to see you again. Welcome back. The guards told me that you arrived last night. How was Northamia?
It was fine. Last night was eventful, and as such, I have come to give you a full report on things.
He kind of looks at you and is like, "Oh, well then, I suppose I should put this aside." He dismisses the minister, and for the next hour or so, you can sit there and kind of give him all the deets of last night.
Yeah, I'll give him a full rundown, basically. Try not to leave anything out that I witnessed or noticed, just in case, because it's his town, and if there's a big infestation, so to speak, of the Cerulean Syndicate, he would want to know about it so he can deal with it appropriately.
So what I want you to do is, I want you to go ahead and make a, trying to think of what a good roll, probably a persuasion check for this. However, Anesthetic is in chat, and she has just redeemed a disadvantage for you.
Oh no, because she's jealous.
Yep.
Persuasion check for what?
Yeah. So basically, you're trying to persuade him, or if there's another role that you can think of, you're trying to convince Edmund to take what you're saying seriously about the Cerulean Syndicate.
I mean, I'm not necessarily trying to get him to take it seriously. I'm simply giving him an account of what happened.
Mhm.
I'm just saying, this is what we ran into. It's your town. Therefore, you are the one who use this information as you wish. I'm simply bringing it to your attention. So, you know.
So this is just make the roll anyway. There's a specific reason I'm asking for it, and I don't want to explain it to you until after it's done.
That's fair. What about history instead?
No, for
I'm
this
telling
it's
him the history
specifically
of last night.
it's specifically persuasion, I think.
All right. So persuasion disadvantage. I got a 9, but Let's try and re-roll that.
Chronal shift.
Chronal shift. Yeah.
Fair enough.
Am I still at disadvantage then?
Actually, I think I would say that no. It's just one more roll.
Cool. So let me remind myself. Is it twice? Okay, so I need to mark off one use. Okay. 21.
Nice.
Hell yeah.
Okay.
So I start to speak foolishly, but then I collect my thoughts and am much more eloquent.
Okay. So with your 21 persuasion, as you're sitting there explaining everything that happened to last night with the Cerulean Syndicate, Edmund, he gets a very serious and concerned look on his face. Like this is the first. You haven't seen him looking this worried since you first met him in. I think actually you met him in North Emia originally.
We met him
met him
when
in-
he was caught
Well,
by the
Corin specifically. Back when you were Cameron, you met Edmund in North Emia.
Then yes, probably.
Yeah. So this is really the first time you've seen him looking this serious and worried. But he does open up to you with your 21 persuasion. That's what you're trying to get him to do with the persuasion, was open up to him on this subject, or open up to you on this subject.
I should have asked for advantage because I was a better father to him than Ichabod. By telling him I was proud of him and giving him a hug.
I'm making progress, okay?
No, I know. It was just the joke at the time that you took him fishing and didn't talk to him all day, and
I
I
know.
only spent like 5 minutes with him, but I was like, I'm proud of you.
Yeah.
Gave me a hug.
That's true. It did happen. So with that connection, and he begins to open up to you. He tells you a bit of a story that after you took repossession of Coltrast and he was instilled in as Lord, that one of the first things he realized was the fact that the city very much was in need of food and supplies and things of that nature, because like Lord Veritude had left this town go to nothing. No one was planting anything. No one was farming. It was just they were all working on the construction of the wall and the dig out underneath the keep. And
Do holders even need to eat?
they do, but what they need to eat is a subject for debate.
Gotcha.
But for the most part, like you all know this, you all went through it. The town was pretty fucked up, and there wasn't a whole lot of food there. Everything was very rancid and broken down. And over the subsequent almost month now that you've been living there, there's been a lot of rebuilding, a lot of gentrification of the area, but also a lot of farming and things like that. But you never really
That's
questioned.
expensive.
Yeah, you never really questioned where things came from. However, Willow had contacts that she knew, and she was a member of the Cerulean Syndicate at one time. And what Edmund tells you is that at the time, for the good of the town, he went through Willow to broker a deal with the Cerulean Syndicate. They were able to bring in foodstuffs and supplies and things much quicker than North Emia could. And, eventually North Emia did start helping as well. For the good of the town, he actually brokered a deal with them. The Cerulean Syndicate is literally in every town in some form or another. And the locals here hated Veritude just as much as Edmund and your group did. So they were able to work out a very mutually beneficial arrangement. So now,
Can you share any of the details of that arrangement with me?
most of it was that they would smuggle in supplies at a much cheaper and easier rate. In return, Edmund would have to pay them back at a steep what's the word?
Interest?
Interest, thank you. A steep interest over a long period of time. But he also had to accept the fact that the Cerulean Syndicate was there in town. They agreed not to go too crazy and hurt people and like basically it's a mob deal that they made with Edmund. You know, you look the other way and accept our help, and we run our legitimate business without too many prying eyes. And so at the end of this, as he's sitting down, he says, "Now, there are a few members of the council who are privy to this information. The captain of the guard of the militias, one of them, a couple of the ministers as well. But we could not make that information privy to the whole council for fear of the syndicate pulling out of the deal."
Well, I'm afraid we might have mucked that up for you a bit.
And he kind of nods and says,
Not on purpose, of course.
Judging based on what I've heard, yes. I did meet Tenenbaum when you all brought him in. You did say to watch out for them, and I did, and he never came to the keep after that initial meeting. I had the guards keeping an eye out for them, and other than meeting with Ishmael and his friends, and meeting with Mavesies as well, I hadn't had any contact with them, but I have kept at least enough of an eye on them. From what I understand, Tenenbaum was just planning on leaving.
Yes, Ichabod's head was not in control. It was more that his heart got the better of him, and he attempted to do something he thought was right and caused problems because of it.
Mm-hmm.
Basically, his heart overruled his mind.
That leaves me in a very difficult position. Tenenbaum was not a member of Coltrast, not a resident here, and as far as I know, he had not done anything illegal while here. I believe you said you specifically told them not to. So I don't know exactly what will come from this, but I will be forced. I do have to reach out to my contact and see what happened, and see if I can.
If retribution is required, please ensure that it comes upon us and not the citizenry or yourself, as you had no knowledge of what he was going to do.
Edmund nods a little bit and says, I'm going to have to call the captain of the guard and see what happened. At the same time, I suppose there's nothing I can do. If the guards are alerted to their presence, I will have to oversee that investigation and allow it to go forward.
Yes.
But, well, thank you for bringing this to my attention, Corin. I appreciate everything your group has done for Coltrast and have helped us along, and I will, of course, remember everything you've done. I hope this does not damage your relationship with Coltrast either.
Heavy is the head that wears the crown, my lord.
He gives a wry smile at that. He says, "My father used to say something similar when he was alive, and I never really understood it until I became the new lord. But thank you."
It is good. Those who seek power are often the ones who should not have it in the first place.
About that time, there's a knock on Edmund's door. Edmund calls out, "Please, one moment, Corin." "Yes, who is it?" And a major domo peeks a head in and says, I'm sorry, Lord Coltrast. I have Prudence Nightingale here. She's wishing to speak to you as well." Edmund replies, just have her wait in the library. I will visit with her after I'm done with Corin here.
Our business is, as far as I can tell, mostly concluded. Good Lord, I shall leave you to your affairs. If you have further need of me or more information, I shall be here.
Thank you, Corin. Yes, that sounds wonderful. I'll probably send for all of you after I meet with the captain.
Yes, I am allowing Lapis and Ichabod a few hours to finish resting, as last night was a difficult and a painful experience, so they were not able to fully recover.
I understand.
Basically, just, you can call on us, just make sure you let them finish sleeping first, because even if, we felt we were in the right, it was bad.
Now, and Edmund's got a full day ahead of him, so he's not going to be getting in touch with you for a while anyway.
That's fine.
But
I'll tell you who I'm getting in touch with. I'm going to go find a seamstress. Or seamster.
Absolutely. Well, you make your way out from the Edmund's office. Edmund actually gets up and walks with you and sees you to the grand chamber before he heads off to the library to meet with Prudence. And you make your way out. About that time, Blaznir, you are you awaken. You're laying against a stool in a corner, probably a little bit of drool going down your chin, but you are in the one of the guard barracks down in the lower city.
Do I look up and see the captain of the guard holding a knife above my head?
No, you do not.
No? Oh, cool.
No.
Cool.
There are a couple guards there. Most of them are like the ones that are there in the barracks are probably getting themselves ready for their own shifts and that sort of thing. There is a local leader there, a lieutenant, who, if you go and ask what's going on, they can tell you that they've sent some soldiers out to the area that you had found, that you had told them about, and are currently watching the place, but they sent word to the captain, who is currently making his way up to Coltress Keep. So other than watching the location, they have not, gone out and done anything more.
Here's what I want to know. Did anybody draw on Blaznir's face while he was asleep?
Oh, there's definitely a few dicks on his face.
And I wear them proudly. Anyway.
But you're awake. You've had your long rest, Blaznir. It seems like the guards are kind of waiting for your group to get back to them before they try to raid the place. And they're kind of waiting for Lord Edmund to give the okay as well. So the guard captain, the captain of the militia, is heading up to Coltress to talk to Edmund right now. And other than that, he tells you that like I said, the place is currently being watched, so it's under surveillance.
Well, if you need help with anything like that, just let me know. I think I'm free until we actually do the raid on the place. I don't know what my friends are doing. They're probably doing something stupid.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, the guards have no clue where your friends are because you just went with them from the inn.
Well, anyway, yeah. I'm just gonna go. Do I have something on my face? I feel a bit of itchy. Like something's tickling my forehead. I feel it's kind of irritated.
The guard has a small smile on his face and said, "No, I have no idea what you're talking about. He must have just slept weird last night."
They drew the balls right above his forehead.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Right. I don't want to roll insight check, but
go for it.
Yeah, why not? 16. Wow, that's bad for me.
Yeah, it's definitely bad for me, but you can definitely tell there's a little bit of glint and a smile on his face as though something's amusing to him.
Right, I'm just gonna kind of pat my face and cast Prestidigitation, and whatever's drawn on there is gone.
I'm not sure if that... I feel like you have to see it to be able to get rid of it, but it's not that important.
It cleans up dirt, so...
Yeah.
Maybe he smears it around a little bit.
Yeah, maybe. Who knows? But apart from that, what are you wanting to do, Blaznir?
Well, I have no clue where they went, so I'm just gonna stop by Prudence's mansion.
Okay.
And Just give a polite knock on the door.
Okay. You make your way up to the mansion. You knock on the door and wait, and after a few minutes, the door opens, and you recognize the youngest son of Ichabod, Fear Not, standing there.
How do you be? Everybody always be leaving Fear Not at home alone. Nobody wants to hang out with my son.
Hello, little Fear Not. Is your mom or your mom's boyfriend in?
Mavesies is upstairs. I think I can go get him if you want.
Oh, if you wouldn't mind.
Sure. Would you like to come in?
Sure.
Okay. You step inside, and the mansion itself is similar but dissimilar to yours. Like, the outside construction is pretty much identical, and the floor plan is very similar, but the furnishings are different. The main foyer of this room is actually kind of an open floor plan kind of thing. Several tables in there, two large vases on two of the main tables that actually have white flowers in them that you recognize. You had seen them before. They're the same flowers that she had growing outside of her house in Rowena. Fear Not steps around and heads in the direction that you know lead to the stairs to the second floor. And you have a stupidly high passive perception, so you can definitely hear him calling out to Mavesies. Mavesies comes over. They talk for a minute about who's downstairs, and a few moments later, you see the pink-skinned tiefling coming down as well. And he says, "Oh, Blaznir, it's nice to see you again. You just missed your friends a couple hours ago. A few hours ago, yes. We found them asleep on the front porch.
Oh, yeah, that makes sense, actually. I'm sorry to intrude. I was just wondering if you knew maybe where they went.
I believe they went home to finish their sleep.
Oh, they're not doing something stupid. Oh, lovely.
Is that a common theme for your group, doing things stupid?
Mostly when I'm around. But yes.
I kind of got that vibe off of you all.
Yeah, we set up a circus the first day we came into town.
A circus, really?
It was very effective.
You know, I'm a bit of a performer myself. What kind of circus was it?
Get out of here.
Well,
trying to steal my job.
It was it was your very typical circus. Most of us, those guys, didn't have anything planned. They're not performers. I have my own act I usually do. It involves a bit of juggling with fire, and do a little bit of fire eating sometimes as well. But
really, that's very impressive. And the two of you can actually sit there and talk for a little while, because Mavesies is a little bit of a bard as well.
I think I accidentally end up chatting to him.
You just sit there and start making friends with Mavesies.
I just get totally distracted with what I was doing and just chat about, performances I've done in the past. And
they start an impromptu jam session.
Yeah, just a jam session right there in the middle of the foyer.
Hey, do you want to join my improv group?
Wait, let me get my guitar real quick.
Yeah, like an hour.
Whatever he plays.
An hour later, they're duetting in the front lawn.
As long as Fear Not is having fun.
Oh, Fear Not's having a blast. He plays the drum, and he kind of hangs out, and the three of them together can just jam for Fear Not isn't always left alone. He usually has some sort of supervision.
Just every time we go.
Just every time you're there, somebody's not there. But right now, nobody has a job, so
yeah.
But yeah, anyway, you hang out with Mavesies for a little while. Do you tell him any of the details of last night?
I think I'll give him a couple of details of, probably just very loose. not
enough to keep him coming back for more.
yeah. But,
Yeah,
um,
so, like, do you tell him about attacking Tenenbaum and chasing him down and all that stuff?
I think I would end up, yeah. Just yeah.
So, as like, the two of you are, I imagine at this point the two of you are sitting there in the lounge, just relaxing and hanging out. You've been chatting for a while, and Mavesy's seems like really surprised about what you've been telling him about Tenenbaum and all that, and he's like, so your plan was to kill or drive out the man who said he was leaving anyway, and
yes,
and
yes.
you did this thinking that it will somehow stop Ishmael from being a member of the syndicate?
Well, that was Ichabod's idea. My whole thing was I don't care for the syndicate being in this town. I don't know. I've worked hard to try to free these people of just evil in general, and I just don't like the idea of more being into town.
I mean, that's a noble goal, but
I was also a bit intoxicated at the time, so
he kind of chuckles at that. I'll tell you a little bit about how the syndicate works. Tenenbaum, from what Ishmael told me, he's a handler. A handler is somebody who just manages others. Managers come in all forms and can be found pretty much everywhere. You get one manager, another one's just going to spout in his place. From what
Goddamn talent scout.
From what I understand, Ishmael's only known Tenenbaum for about maybe a year and a half. I don't think your group kind of fully thought through what you were doing.
We never think through anything.
He kind of chuckles at that.
But
Well, my only advice to you is keep a wary eye out. The syndicate
always.
The syndicate is not a what's the word I'm looking for? They're subtle. They don't enact. They're subtle. They don't exact their revenge by walking up to you and swinging a sword. They're the ones stepping out of the shadows to put a knife in your back.
Well, I've been waiting for that all my life. I think, it might be interesting for someone to actually be hoping for that to happen to me. So.
You want somebody to stab you in the back?
No, I don't. But I'm always a bit paranoid about something. But
there's always a little bit of healthiness in paranoia, especially in the line of work that you seem to be living.
It's kept me alive this long, although I've also haven't actually dealt with much that paranoia would have helped with. But either way, yeah, no, last night was a terrible idea, but it happened, so.
Yeah, Mavesy's shrugs and says, well, good luck with that at any rate. I don't expect anyone to have any interest in taking revenge on Ishmael or his mother.
Well,
you can
good, at least.
You can at least not worry about that. If the syndicate plans on retribution, it will probably be at you, or your group at least.
Well, that does give a little bit of comfort, and honestly, I don't want innocent people to get in the middle of what we started. So,
yeah, Mavesy's kind of thumps himself onto the chest and he says, "Well, Any retribution does come, they'll have to deal with me first. And he gives you a very wide smile at that.
I hope to see the outcome of that, honestly, if anything does happen.
Looking at him, he's a fairly muscular dude. He's definitely defined. That 16 insight you rolled earlier, I'm just going to let you keep going off that one. And he's looking Mavesy's up and down. You can see the rod that he carries with him at all times. You can see the muscles on him. He can probably hold his own.
Oh, yeah.
But do you have anything else you want to discuss with Mavesy's, or any questions you'd like to ask him specifically? Or Fear Not's still kind of running around, hanging out with y'all. He played the drum with you. He's probably reading a book right now.
Bring my
Blaznir
son.
wants to know what colors their BFF friendship bracelets should be.
Well, I mean, it's
Woodcraft.
Blaznir, so it's got to be orange and red at least.
Nah, I think a green.
Green?
For contrast.
Fair enough, yeah.
Too much orange and red.
Yeah, you got to have green in for the contrast, absolutely.
Yeah. But, I'm not a druid with druidcraft, so I can't do much. Anyway, I'll just give a goodbye and, I guess go find my friends.
Okay. Well, about that time, you're making your way over to the mansion. Corin, you're probably heading back to the mansion as well. Or you said you wanted to find a seamstress, didn't you?
Yeah, it doesn't have to be a big, long thing. I just wanted to get something made.
What are you wanting to get made?
I will... There you go. I sent you a Discord message.
It better not be lingerie.
No.
Moving way too fast.
You could for what you're asking for, it would probably only take a couple days to make. You could find somebody who would make that in town. That wouldn't be difficult.
Sure.
And it actually won't cost much either. So let's say 5 silver.
Sure. Boom. Done and done.
There you go.
And yes, I will be heading back to the mansion.
They said that they will deliver it to your mansion. So once it's finished, so they'll just bring it to you.
I did make sure that they would wrap it in something so that, it's not going to be obvious what it is.
She said she would wrap it and box it, so it actually looks like a gift. Because I assume this is a gift.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, you get that made, and it'll be ready in a couple days.
Cool.
You all head back to the mansion. Blaznir, Corin, the two of you meet up with one another, probably right out front, and you can head inside. Lapis and Ichabod, the two of you are probably waking up about this point. It's around noon, so the rest of the day is ahead of you. What would you like to do?
So if I happen to be awake a little bit prior to them arriving, I would be in the stable because I want to summon Salvatore, and then I want to be putting his horseshoes on. Hammering his horseshoes. Horseshoes of the Zephyr.
Okay. Yeah, you could definitely do that.
So that's where I'm at.
Sure. You probably woke up maybe a little bit ago, not too long. You have the stable that you actually had built on your land, and you spend an hour, or probably won't even take an hour. I don't know how long it takes to fix them, but you've been affixing the horseshoes of the Zephyr to Salvatore.
I got me a flying horse. Look at him. It's hovering. So cool.
Salvatore, meanwhile, is like, what the fuck is going on?
Salvatore loves it. So regal, so majestic. When I summon Salvatore, since I was thinking about, like, why do I always make him look just like a normal horse when he's like a spectral horse? So can he be like, in Princess Mononoke, he rides like a big red elk? Can he be like a big black and white, like half elk, half horse? So he's got like horns? Like, dope.
But, I would say, sure, why not? Like, you can't use them as a weapon or anything like that. It's just aesthetic. But yeah, it can be a big half horse, half elk looking thing with some antlers reaching up out of him.
Yeah, he's
Sure.
got like big antlers now, and he's black and white, so he's got like the white stripe down his chest, and then he has like the long hair over his hooves.
Yeah, absolutely. I like
So
it.
regal.
This is going to be the weirdest looking Santa Claus thing coming out that you've ever seen.
I freaking love him. It's amazing. Salvatore, you're looking better than ever. Sorry I had to go so many days without you, buddy. Everybody walked. Like, you guys get home and I'm, like, hugging Salvatore.
And Salvatore looks completely different at this point. It's really weird.
But he's hugging me back.
Yeah, definitely.
Yes, he's got his hooves wrapped around you.
He's got one hoof.
On his bottom two hooves standing
It's like
up.
the one hoof, like
Yeah,
the horses will wrap their neck around you, put the one hoof up. Yeah.
The one hoof up, and it's like cupping his buttocks just a little bit.
That's weird. Don't make it weird.
I mean, you made it weird long before I did.
I didn't make it weird. I'm just a man who loves his horse, alright?
Right. And anyway, your group is now back together once again. All of you've got your horse. The rest of you have your long rest. What are you wanting to do with the rest of your day?
I'll inform everybody that I went and gave a debrief to Edmund.
Oh God, I just read what Lapis said. So I'm just going to say that in my mind, Ichabod, when everyone approached, he just turns, looks at everyone and says, "Look at my horse. My horse is amazing."
Yes.
Yeah,
you like the Will Smith, present the horse.
Mm-hmm.
Look at him.
I always imagined him more as the Old Spice guy. I'm on a horse. The tickets are now diamond.
But yeah, so what are you wanting to do today?
Alright, Corin, you went and saw Edmund. I was kind of hoping I could speak to him, because I was hoping he might have some kind of a job for those thief kids. Idle minds are the devil's playground.
Yes. Well, I believe Prudence was going to speak to him about such things. They should be well.
From what Maisie said, Prudence was going to talk to him about moving houses.
I mean, multiple things.
Sure. Well, I just hope they're not out there getting into trouble.
They're definitely getting into trouble. But apart from that, what are you wanting to do today? You can still go up to the castle. You can do whatever you want.
Yeah, maybe
get into a bar fight.
No,
No,
I really don't. I want to have a nice and wholesome time. So you ask me what I want to do today. I want to go to Edmund, say, "Hey, you think you got a job for these kids?" And then I want to go pick up Fear Not, and we can go for a ride on the horse. On my big beautiful horse.
I want to have a nice and unwholesome time.
All right.
Okay.
Well, you'll have to wait till later in the evening.
Wow. Sounded like a promise to me.
No,
Yeah, it did.
no, I've already made I already owe you twice for things. So, and you still have yet to claim anything. So I'm scared about making promises. I'll make no promises at all. Not until our score is settled at 0.
Man, I should have asked Edmund if he was going to have any social functions coming up for the nobility. Could have called in one of those chits.
Corin, do you tell us about what Edmund told you?
Yeah.
Blast it.
I will basically, talk about how he was basically a guy in an unwinnable situation. It's like he didn't have the time to wait for the capital and his people were dying, and so he did what he thought was right in that situation. May not have been what was, appropriate for the law, but he saved his people.
I can't believe that Edmund's been in power for a couple months and has already gone corrupt.
I don't think it's corruption, but
How is it not? How is agreeing to turn a blind eye to crime not corruption? Not the very definition of corruption.
First thing that
he did
popped,
it to save his people.
So everybody has their reasons.
First thing that popped into my head was the American dad. Roger's a dirty cop. He's been on the force for 3 hours.
Yeah.
I think if he tries to stop us from doing our raid whenever it happens, that's the sign of corruption.
From what it sounds like, what he's going to get from them has already been gotten. So the rest of the deal is that they get to continue to stay in town and pollute it.
And
Not
we're wiping it out.
too much, though. And
But they can pollute it a little bit. Why should Edmund care about poor people getting robbed?
He still, of course, has to pay them back. But as to the nature of what their corruption was allowed to be, he did not specify. It could simply be as simple as, fake merchandise of some kind. Who knows?
We're okay with people getting scammed, I suppose. Is that where we're really at? I don't know. This definitely changes my view of Edmund. It spoils my good image of him.
It depends.
That's fair, but he was put in a terrible situation.
I liked him for the nobleness of his heart.
And a child cares not whether their expensive toy is made by the actual maker or someone else. Medicine, yes. Something like that where it actually matters, of course.
I just have to say I'm pretty disappointed.
Not mad, just disappointed.
I'm quite disappointed. I don't know if I still want to ask him if he's got a job for the Thief Kids, because maybe he'll use it as an opportunity to get back in the Cerulean Syndicate's good graces.
Well, there is this up-and-coming organization in town that is looking for new members.
Are you being serious, or are you doing it right now?
No, I was joking that's what he would say. It's like, well, there's this organization.
Yeah, exactly. So now he's been put in a tight spot by our actions, righteous actions as though they were. But so he's going to be seeking to get out of it. If he's willing to make that kind of a deal, what other kind of deals is he willing to make?
Well, I think we should watch to see what happens rather than assume that the worst in him. Truthfully.
Yes, do not assume that the man will fall on his face without even giving him the chance to stand on his own 2 feet.
Ichabod shrugs.
He has made a
I'm
decision,
jaded now.
And he stands by it, and I will wait and see and offer aid as necessary. If he goes too far down, then obviously we will pull him back. But as of yet, I feel
so we should just wait. We should just wait for him to continue down the bad path. Do you hear yourself, Corin? My God, who do I work?
What do you suppose we do?
I suppose we go and give him a stern talking to.
I feel like he's already in a tough situation. A stern talking to him is just going to push him further down.
All right. You say that he's got to pay back this debt, right?
Supposedly, yes.
So we find a quick and easy way to pay back this debt, and then he has no more dealings in the future. Same as I tried to do with my son.
That's fair. I would simply caution you to, as a parent, think about what happens when you attempt to get your children to not do something.
Well, I haven't made a very good father, and all this time has been obvious, so...
Just reminding, what happens when you tell a kid you can't do something.
Edmund ain't my son, though. Edmund is the lord of his land, and he's got a bigger responsibility to these people.
He's also a child.
Yeah, perhaps it wasn't the smartest idea to put a child in power.
I mean...
but we had no otherwise claim or anything. I thought he would be better. I thought he would be better.
For now, perhaps let us simply seek ways to placate the Cerulean Syndicate, both with the debt that he has accrued and what we more recently have done to the people of theirs that were here.
I don't really care about that. I don't care. The Edmund's debt I'll work on. Everything else was righteous.
Righteous, sure, you can feel as you like. I just simply would rather us not be on their radar in any sizable manner.
If anything, this is the consequences of Edmund's actions, Lapis.
What's your opinion, Lapis? Or did you change your name again due to my death the prior evening.
Not quite yet. I haven't put a lot of thought into that yet. But perhaps help him pay off this debt and maybe brainstorm with him other ways of, making things better for the town that doesn't require relying on the syndicate.
Yeah. We bought all our bread with blood money. I do agree. I think we should try to get this debt paid off and then have no more dealings with the syndicate in the future.
Would me being in the conclave give us any pull to get help over here? Perhaps.
Possibly, you'd have to ask them, I suppose.
Well, it sounded like the help just wasn't coming fast enough from North EMEA, so then he got the syndicate to help, but then the help from North EMEA kicked in.
That is pretty accurate. Lapis, go ahead and make a history check. You haven't been a member of the Conclave for very long, but they did give you some information when you joined, so let's see if you can remember info about that.
Oh, great. I've got a -1 in that. This is going to go... Oh, that went better than I thought. 14.
So, with the 14, you would know that the Erudite Conclave is not like a government... They're not a government body. They're basically like the library. They collect information, they record history, they seek out lost relics and lost information. They're basically like a big group of archivists and researchers and archaeologists and things like that. While technically the Erudite Conclave does have an official standing within most governments, because they're the ones that actually, record the history of the countries, so the countries allow them in, and there's actually like a global agreement for many countries to host Erudite Conclave branches there. They're not like a law enforcement agency. They have no like authority or power. They go and collect history and research, and they archive it, and other countries use them for that as that resource. So that's why the Conclave has a pull. Like they're not a law enforcement body, so they really can't help with the syndicate, and they're not a country themselves. They don't own land. They own like their buildings, but they don't have farms and things like that. So they don't really they can't send resources and things like that. Now, if you ask them for aid in things like researching or studying things of that nature, they'll absolutely jump on that, and they very often hire out adventurers to do jobs for them. But they're not like the type of... it's not like the Peace Corps or something like that. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Alright, so we're going to the Erudite Conclave, and we're going to find the Ark of the Covenant.
No.
Now that's exactly what they are. It's being researched by... what was
Top
that
men.
line? Top men.
Top men.
Yeah.
Yes, but what specifically? Top men.
Yep. Yeah. That's kind of what they are. So that's why they are researching the dream roots, because they discovered a cult that's fucking around with them, and they want to know why. But they're not like they can't go to the governments and say, "Hey, this cult is fucking around. Give me an army." That's not what they do.
This cult is fucking around, and we found out.
Yeah, and so they're interested in that sort of thing, and they research and record it, and then they give that info to the governments, and then the governments decide what to do, which is actually happening right now. Lapis, you would know that they have been slowly presenting the information to the countries that are like interested in that sort of thing, but as far as you know, there's no large scale thing going on against the cult other than research and trying to figure out what the hell they're doing. Yet. But people are on that. Top people.
So I guess our plan is to what? Are we gonna go to Edmund, or we can go to the station?
How much
Or
does
both?
Edmund owe to the syndicate?
I think we'd have to go talk to him to figure that out.
Probably
Yeah,
have to talk to him.
I don't know if he gave me specifics or not.
He did not.
Okay.
But I know that the guard is also expecting us, right?
I do know that we would be wise to ensure that we are working with Edmund to make sure that he does not, what would the political term be? Lose face? Be thought of as a lesser?
Indeed. Yeah, it's best if this does not get out.
Not only because of his personal thoughts upon himself as a man, but also because we would not wish any of his political enemies, should he have any attempt to take advantage of the situation.
True. I can appreciate what he tried to do for his city, but I mean, it's best if we can have a wonderful city without the need for the syndicate to be involved.
That is what I'm at least working for right now.
Good man, Blaznir.
Oh yeah, the guards. I've told all the guards about everything that's going on. So there's a raid popping up. We might be called upon later on. I don't know when.
All right.
Yeah.
Are we to wait for them to call upon us, or are we supposed to go there?
You know, I don't know.
Well, I'm sure Edmund will know. Maybe we should go talk to Edmund for
Yeah.
a minute, and then
The
he'll
captain,
know.
The guard captain is talking to Edmund at some point today.
All right. Probably
And-
as we speak.
Probably.
yes.
We can just barge in, honestly.
No. We can wait in the library.
We can barge in and just,
I've recently learned that barging in on people's homes is not good, apparently.
But
Shockingly
this isn't-
enough.
This isn't home.
What?
I know it's news to me.
Personal growth. That's what this show's about.
Yep. Blaznir, by the way,
Yeah.
what is that on your face?
What? Oh, the smudge?
Yes.
Is this still there?
It's like vaguely phallic shaped.
Yeah,
Were you at a
Don't-
brawl?
He fell asleep in some ink.
No, don't go to sleep with inside a room full of men. That sounds
See what
wrong.
happened. I see what happened.
I fell asleep in the guard barracks.
Blaznir, there's nothing to be ashamed of.
I fell
If
asleep in
your
the guard.
interest lies with men, there is no shame in it.
That's not.
That's something else I recently learned.
character growth. But no, I just, you guys can believe whatever you want, but I know the truth.
Yes, you are a character, and you made them grow.
Oh no.
Wow.
All right, let's go.
Okay. So it sounds
Before
like...
we-
Yeah, go ahead.
I was going to say, before we do that, do we want to do break time?
We're going to. What I was getting ready to say is, so it sounds like your group is heading up to Coltrast Keep to speak with Lord Edmund. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Okay.
Or at least leave him a message if he can't talk to us.
Yeah. We just need to be like, hey, we're willing to help you out with this debt so that we can cut ties with the syndicate and try to convince them of that instead of trying to get back in their good graces.
Yeah, so we are going to get into that after we take our break. We'll be back in about 10 minutes, folks, so stay tuned, and we'll find out what happens as the Debauchery Circus starts planning to, it sounds like, try to push the Cerulean Syndicate out of Coltrast. Stay tuned.
Try to push the Lord back on the right path.
Howdy, everybody. We are back. And when we last left off, the Debauchery Circus was heading back to Coltrast Keep to have a conversation with Lord Edmund. The four of you arrive, and you ask the palace staff, and they inform you that Lord Edmund is in the library. He's in there right now, kind of going over a book. And he looks up to see you all, and he says, hello, everybody. I wasn't expecting to see you again so soon. Corin, welcome back. What can I do for you?
Hi.
Corin, you're present.
no one's
Yeah.
talking. Hi.
We came to the conclusion that it would perhaps be beneficial for you if we were to attempt to deal with your debt from the syndicate by giving or doing something for them that they want.
Oh, wasn't expecting to hear that. Well, I do have a debt that I owe them for bringing in supplies and that sort of thing, and I would have to reach out to them and find out exactly how they would want to repay the debt. Money is, the supplies that they sent us was quite a bit of money, and I suppose that is one way, perhaps.
Ichabod just avoids eye contact.
Do you know how much money off the top of your head, by chance?
His eyes kind of go downcast, and he says, "Oh, well, about 350."
Stop.
Really?
Come again.
Damn it.
Edmund, I was already disappointed, but now I'm pissed off.
Edmund polymorphed into a Loch Ness monster in his true form.
At which point you all realize that the man standing in front of you is not the 14-year-old little white boy you all were expecting, but instead was a 50-foot tall creature from the Paleozoic era.
I gave him $1.
I hate this.
Roll for initiative!
Why is this happening right now? Ichabod turns around and walks away.
Just, nope, I'm out.
Why are we actually rolling for it?
You're all actually rolling for... I will fuck...
Dakota's kid, okay?
I got a 27.
Not rolling. Not rolling.
Now, damn it, woman, don't go giving that Loch Ness monster no 350.
Edmund, we're trying to be serious right now. Is that where this is coming from? Put this token away!
Hey, actually, here's some character growth for you, Matt.
Yeah.
I'm gonna walk over and I'm gonna put a hand on Edmund's shoulder and say, "You did the best you could in a difficult situation, son. I'm proud of you." And I'm gonna give him a hug.
Aww. You'll give that Loch Ness monster a hug?
You know what?
And out of the corner of my eye, I'm making sure that Ichabod is watching.
Ichabod takes mental notes.
Okay, so I'll take away the Loch Ness monster. I thought it was funny anyway.
Aw.
It was
I'm putting that in my
funny
polymorph
for about
anyway.
5 seconds
Oh, it's
afterwards.
But anyway, I don't know. I thought it was hilarious, but that's all that matters. I am my own target audience.
Hey, I thought it was funny.
I thought it was funny.
Oh boy.
But joking aside, Edmund tells you that the number that he owes is actually close to 75,000 gold pieces.
Oh, that's not much at all.
That's a lot. That's a hell of a lot of money.
Well, I mean, is it?
Yes.
Okay, I'm pretty sure I've had that at one point, but
You have never had 75,000
we've
gold
ever had.
pieces.
no, not
No.
75,000, but like, I'm sure we found that much over the
Like-
period
Like
of
in
time.
total.
Probably,
over the
yeah.
course of the
Yeah.
whole campaign.
He had that chest with all that
That's not much.
all that platinum at one point.
That was 100
Right.
platinum, not that's.
Yeah, that was 100 platinum.
Oh,
No, that's not much.
You know.
But no,
Come on.
Close.
We've got 9 more levels. Yeah.
We're not going to level 20.
We could
Alright,
get
well,
that.
Edmund, we're happy to help you get out of this mess. any way that we can. I'm not sure that we're going to be able to pay it off all just money, unless you've got a source of income, a more legitimate source of income, that is. But just know that we're in your corner, and also would appreciate it if this town could cut ties with the Cerulean Syndicate at some point in the future.
Could some of that debt perhaps be worked off somehow?
I ain't working for no thieves.
Fair.
About this time, you hear a door open in the other side of the library, and you see a familiar man. You've met him a couple times before. It's Commander Lorient. Commander Lorient is a human man. He was the leader of the Coltrast militia, and your group kind of interacted with them a few times after that. He is now actually Captain Lorient, and captain of the town guard here in Coltrast. He steps through the door. He has a few big old rolls of paper in his hands, and he says, Debauchery Circus, it's good to see you all. Lord Edmund told me about what happened, and I've also received the reports from my own men, and we were getting ready to talk about what you all had found at the Syndicate's hideout. I wasn't expecting to see you all here, but please, I'm sure you are all very welcome in this conversation.
Yes.
Sure.
Edmund says, actually, I did send out somebody to come and collect your group. You just arrived before I was expecting you here, but please do come in and let's have a more candid discussion.
Of course.
So, Edmund does sit down and talk to you all a little bit more. He does reiterate a little bit about why he contacted the Syndicate, that it was Willow who helped him do so, that he did what he had to do to get the town fed and taken care of, because when you all took it over, it was people were pretty close to dead, and they're definitely in a lot better situation than they were a couple months ago. Now, he does tell you that what happened between your group and the Syndicate is very concerning to him, mainly because chances are they're going to be pissed off that the local heroes who put him in power just attacked one of their bases. But unfortunately, because of the way you handled it, the way you you informed the guards of what happened, it was done through witnesses. He is going to have to at least stand with the guards and do a full raid on that location.
Oh, how unfortunate.
Well, it's more unfortunate than you think.
Because we're in bed with some bad guys.
Well, perspective is a funny thing, and from your Edmund certainly does respect your point of view on the Syndicate, and Commander Lorient does say that he's of the same opinion that he was never comfortable with dealings with the Syndicate. He understood Edmund's reasons at the time when he was made privy to them, but he doesn't want the Cerulean Syndicate in the town any more than you do. He's of a very similar mindset to you.
Good.
So, for now, he is planning with his men a raid into that location to see what they can find. He was planning on asking your group if you wanted to come along as well, since you were the ones who found it in the first place.
Sure.
Of course.
Why the hell not?
Okay.
Hey, am I gonna have to write another song now? Since it was Willow who put him in contact with the Cerulean Syndicate? Since we already had Blame Shadowfire?
Blame Willow, blame Willow.
No, it's gotta be different, because that doesn't sound good.
It's just the way that this is. It's like, I made a deal with the mob, and now the mob's mad at me. and this is your fault. It's like, okay, matter of time before the mob gets pissed at you. Like,
maybe, maybe not. Who knows?
mm-hmm. Or you could just stay good with them, and then you're in the mob. Like, okay.
Don't think that conversation didn't come up at least one point, Ichabod. But at the end of the day, I do feel that I owe your group a debt. And I am going to stand with you on this, but I will have to make some firm decisions about how we deal with this in the future. If you truly think we should push the syndicate out of Coltrast, that is a larger issue to be dealt with, because from that point on, we are their enemy, and we're just a small city.
They are vast, and their resources even more so.
I definitely think at least limiting our dealings with them is probably a very good step one. I don't think that under threat of the fact that they'll kill us all if we don't work with them is necessarily a good and moral and just reason to let them harm the weakest people in your citizenry. Like, why should you worry up here in your high castle? You're not their target.
That's actually my point, Ichabod. I'm not worried about somebody sneaking into the palace and slitting my throat in the middle of the night.
I know, but you're okay to have the syndicate have a foothold in your city because you don't have to see the things that they're doing to people otherwise. So basically, if we're enemies of them, then you are at risk. If we're not enemies of them, then it's just your citizens who have to deal with it.
I mean, we can sit here and debate the moral structure of that for a very long time, actually.
Oh, thank you.
Because
saying, you guys are acting like I have like a crazy point, like it's not literally the mob. Like,
no, it is absolutely the mob, but different. But there's also the perspective of like you're making. The point Edmund's trying to make is making an enemy of an organization that large and that vast can have serious economic implications.
I understand that. I'm not saying we have to go on a full-on, eradicate them from the entire city forever and ever, but at least maybe not being in bed with them is a good place to start. Like,
the only point that... Sorry, go ahead.
No, I also want peace of mind to know that they're not going to harm anybody in the city, like, just in general.
But that's what I mean, is that inherently they're going to be harming people in the city. So we have to accept that certain level of harm if we're not going to fully eradicate them.
Are we accepting a certain level that we can control, or are we causing a larger influx that we cannot control because we made a larger enemy over a larger force?
Yeah, we're all saying the same thing here.
Yeah. I'm going to say, Corin is just reminding folks that these guys have, like, worldwide reach.
Yeah, I just hated that Edmund was not acknowledging that there was still harm to people.
Oh no, there's still he absolutely acknowledges that there's harm to people. What he's doing is trying to make as little harm as possible happen while benefiting people the most. That's the balance that he has to achieve with all this. So as little people coming to harm for the maximum benefit of all. That's his conundrum. But for the short term, there is the raid on the Thieves Guild base. So if you all want to take part in that, you absolutely can. And he's going to be sitting down and trying to figure out what to do with things for the long term.
Mm-hmm.
So,
well, we already waited a whole day, so I'm sure that the place is empty. But let's go take all their stuff.
Let's see what we can glean from it. They probably have more bases inside the city, so I don't think one base is going to be their main issue.
Mm-hmm.
So,
well, your group sit there and talk with Captain Lorient, who the long and the short of it is they're planning on heading heading over there right at dusk. They've had people watching it for quite a while. All reports that have come in so far has said that there's no activity. So they assume, what you assume is that the thieves are gone. But they do want to still look through everything and see if they can figure out what they're doing, where other bases are, that sort of thing. So if you're wanting to help out, it's not going to be too much of a thing, but we're going to be doing basically a skill challenge to see how much information your group can find over the course of an investigation. Does that sound good?
Sure.
Yeah.
Okay. So as dusk approaches, your group make your way out the keep with Captain Lorient, heading to the northern slum area of the city where you had found the thieves' base. There, you meet up with quite a few of the other guard members. They let you know that, nobody's shown up since. It's all been quiet. You go and you make your way in. The place you find is quite a bit different from when you were there previously. Mainly the fact that the moment you open that trapdoor and go down, it just reeks of smoke. Because, big ass fire down there.
I want to find if that guy died in the bathroom. If he got cooked. I really want to know.
Yeah, you can make
in a bad way.
You can make your way down, and once you get down to the bottom,
torch?
Yes, you absolutely can light a torch.
I'll put up my dancing lights so people can see.
I gotta know if this guy is crispy in this bathroom. I get down there and then way too excitedly run over like it's Christmas morning and I'm going to unwrap my presents.
So you immediately, the moment you climb down the ladder, you just go running over, kick that door. The door was very burnt as well. It goes you don't even need to make an athletics check. You just kick it and it shatters inward. You do see a toilet. The bathroom itself actually doesn't have a lot of fire damage. The door was closed the entire time and the fire did not get past it. He is not in there.
Fucking
survived.
Sucks.
He did survive.
Did he go down the drain?
No drain. It's medieval times, so it's like porta potties. It's
How
just
does he not get all the heat of the fire around the bathroom, all the smoke?
Oh yeah.
I was gonna say if it's not airtight, then
Maybe that's not actually a toilet.
smoked out.
Yeah, because he was already coughing in there.
I mean, there might be a secret tunnel in the
I
back.
look for a secret tunnel in the bathroom.
Make an investigation check.
3.
Don't find any secret tunnels.
Bastard! You fucking got away. I was really hoping I could find a charred corpse in here. Would have just made my whole night.
So all of you. So here's what I want everyone to do. We're going to do a skill challenge to see how much information you can find from this place, because there's a lot going on. All the bar tops are just completely cinders. They're burnt to a crisp. Same for all the barrels, the big keg that was over there, little more than ash and a bit of a frame. And as you go looking into the other rooms, you see more fires, actually. The area in the next room that was kind of a meeting area, completely blackened and charred as well. The bookshelves, there's no books on them whatsoever, which is kind of weird. So here's what I want you to do. I want each of you in turn to describe for me what you're doing to aid this investigation. And then we're going to make a roll for that. And we'll see how we go from there. So who wants to go first in this skill challenge?
I'll go first. I imagine there's a lot of debris, a lot of fallen furniture and whatnot, and I ain't too smart with investigating, so I'll lift things for people and kind of clear paths, lift bookshelves and flip drawers or anything that needs to be moved around.
I get it.
Ease the access.
Yeah, I like it. Go ahead and make an athletics check as you start clearing away the rubble so people can find things a little bit better.
That's a 13.
13, it's a bit difficult. You're digging through things, and as you like lift things up, they just start dissolving or breaking in your hands. So that is a failure.
Oh, can I use my inspiration?
You can use an inspiration if you'd like to re-roll that.
So 18.
18 is a success. Okay, that's a little bit better. At first, like, you're just digging through and it's nothing but ash and
Gotta
cinders.
change my strategy.
But you do, and you aim for those bigger pieces, you start moving them aside much more carefully to let people see what's underneath them, and that is a success. Who wants to go next?
I have a...
Sure.
Oh.
Go ahead, Blaznir.
Yeah, are there any rats around?
Are there any rats around? Not really.
Yeah.
This has been a like I said. This is a burnt out place. There's you can maybe find a mouse hole and try to coax that one out if you want to. What do you like? Are you trying to speak with animals? Is that what you're trying to do here?
That's exactly what I'm trying to do. I don't want to just roll a perception check because that's boring. So
Okay, sure. I'll allow it. You find a small hole at the side of one cave, and you get down. You're going to cast your spell, so you take your spell slot off for that.
I'm gonna use ritual because it's a ritual.
It is a ritual spell?
Yep.
Oh, okay. So sure, why not? You sit down for 10 minutes and begin casting the spell while Ichabod is working and lifting all these huge beams and things like that. You cast your spell, you get down, and you start calling out to the creature in the hole. Go ahead and make me, an animal handling check.
Animal handling. Okay, that's also boring because plus 13.
Oh.
Well, what did you want to roll?
No, animal handling is
Except
fine.
the 30.
I'm going to go with the 30.
Fine, fair enough. Yeah, with a 30, you begin calling out to the creature in there, and you see a little mouse come scurrying out, real timidly, looking at you, doing that sound.
Friend.
What do you want to ask it?
So, hi. How long have you been here? Have you seen the mean people, scurrying around through here?
Big fire. I went and hid down at the lower part of my den, and I saw some of them. They all ran out down to the south over there.
So to the south, right? What can you tell me? Like, just maybe a little bit of information about what the anything that you might think is helpful. We're trying to find those people. They've been very mean to city folk above.
Big people, very very mean, very scary. Never drop much food.
They don't drop food for you.
It's
That's terrible. I'm gonna give them one of my rations.
So that is a second success, and I'll give you a little bit of information that the mouse will give you in a little bit. But that is 2 successes. Who wants to go third?
Sure.
Roleplay me talking to mouse.
Well, I'll just do the actual investigation part of the investigation, treating it like a crime scene, looking around.
Probably a good idea. Go ahead and make an investigation check.
I mean, come on, my other
I'm clearing the path for you.
my other 2 high scores are history and arcana.
Yeah, 13's not enough, unfortunately.
I'm gonna chronal shift that then.
Okay.
17.
17 is just enough for this
Hell
one.
yeah.
So you begin doing a very thorough search of this area, looking at all the spaces that Ichabod clears away for you, sorting through the ash, looking for all those little clues that other people might miss. We got one more roll to make, and that's Lapis. So Lapis, what are you doing to help out this investigation?
I think I want to look around and see if I can find evidence of secret doorways, secret tunnels,
So that sounds like a perception check to me.
I mean, I guess if it has to be.
You have what are you wanting to roll? Because you gotta roll something different than everybody else.
I guess perception it is. That's an 11. That would be a fail.
That is a failure.
And I unfortunately do not have inspiration or anything.
Okay. Well, with that, it's 3 successes out of 4. So you spend the next good couple hours searching through this area. Your search eventually gets you into the back room, where there is a desk and several bookshelves as well. Now, here's the things that you actually were able to find throughout this investigation. You are able to determine that you are able to determine that all the papers that had been in this area, the books, things like that, they've all been pulled off of the shelves and thrown into the bar area where they caught on fire. You actually find behind the bar like a big pile of paper and books and things like that they allowed the fires to consume. You go back into the back room and you find a similar situation, that more of the area has been burnt. The table, the desk, the bookshelves, things of that nature. I'll go ahead and open that area up for you. In that area, the thing that stands out to you the most, you especially, Corin, would have noticed this, doing as the lead of the investigation, is like the fire that was started into the bar area back there. There was no fuel source that could have led them into these next 2 rooms, while that area was definitely on fire and caused by the fireballs that were constantly being thrown in there. There's no fuel source that could have led them to the next 2 rooms.
So they did it on purpose while they were escaping.
They did it on purpose,
after.
yeah. It seems like this room has been sterilized. Go ahead, give me whoever wants to can do one more investigation check. This is not a part of the group check. This is just as you're all looking around.
13.
Should probably be giving out bardic inspiration.
Freaking +9.
I was gonna ask if it could be an insight check, but
No, that's for like emotions and stuff.
Yeah,
I don't know, or reading a situation sometimes.
Yeah, sometimes yes, but this is you're specifically investigating, looking for anything you can in this area.
So you said you gave me a bardic inspiration there, Blaznir?
Oh, definitely retroactive because I wasn't paying attention.
What's the die on that there?
I'll allow
Rolled
it.
so fast.
I will allow it. Go ahead and.
Okay.
What's the die?
I need to be paying attention.
A
to
D6, I think.
Blaznir, it's a D6?
Yeah, D6.
15.
So 15, not the greatest, but you are able to find one more piece of information. You find a scrap of cloth wrapped around the remnants of a crossbow that's been burnt up, and you realize that you're pretty sure it's the same color cloth of the cloak that Tenenbaum was wearing.
Ichabod, I found a piece of his cloak. Or at least what I would assume was his.
I don't know what this tells me. Well, he's got a little crossbow. Is that his cross? Well, it's probably Ash right now. So.
Yes, I have absolutely no idea what you could do with a piece of clothing from Tenenbaum.
Well, I suppose maybe we could scry on him. And I look at Corin like, was that the right answer? Is that right? He doesn't tell me.
Yeah, he doesn't tell you. He just.
Oh, come on. I mean, I could always have located object if that's what you're referring to.
Okay.
I was already doing that to him. Having a piece of his clothing, maybe you could use for a scry or something if we get the means.
Yeah, I'd have to learn that spell, but we could.
Are there any bones
Only one.
nearby? Like directly?
Yeah, is there a
this?
corpse where this cloth is?
There actually are not, and that's
Yeah.
something that makes your group pause. You did kill a few people, and there are no bodies in there. There are no bones or charred remains or anything like that.
Mhm.
They took their dead.
Probably to revive them.
Well, either to revive them or to reanimate them.
I see. It's a 5th level.
I can,
I took one level druid.
I can attempt to go to the city and learn the scrying spell if we have no one here who can do it.
I can do it if I practice a bit more in my craft, but
Well, no, I
With
mean,
time.
I can do it, I just have to learn the spell.
yeah.
Well,
No, I understand. I just need to level up druid once.
here I thought you guys wanted me to drop the issue. I mean, it'll be good to have. I'll definitely keep it. But I don't know if Tenenbaum is really our priority anymore.
I think if he's still in the city, he's a priority. If he's not, then whatever.
All right, well, you said it. So as long as it's not me leading y'all down dark paths again.
Well, I'm a bit worried that there's no corpses.
Yeah, I'm sure they've all come back to life and we can fight them a second time.
It's just really annoying, Like, the
Yeah.
dead should stay dead. No offense, Corin.
Twice dead Corin. Twice dead Corin.
Should 3 times at least.
Hmm.
Well,
That's
I
you,
for
your
one,
friend.
am glad that you came back. So, is that all we get with our investigating?
Yeah, unfortunately, that's all you're able to find with the investigation.
Yeah, I could cast True Seeing, but that would only help me find stuff that's like magically hidden. So if
Wait,
they
that
have,
might be.
Oh,
that might be
wait.
kind of good.
Could somebody else who's
Oh.
better at investigating perhaps maybe look and see if
Better than
Better?
Corin?
I have a plus
Better-
9.
Better than
Well,
Corin?
I mean, I'm still convinced there's some sort of secret.
Yeah, 'cause there has to be a back way that they got out of here.
There- How about
They've
this?
got to be interconnected to like other bases.
I will say, if we wait until tomorrow, I can prepare a spell where I can see, anything they've trapped, and that might help us look for secret passages, because they probably trapped their secret passages.
You think so?
I would assume. But
And there's no books in the bookshelves, right?
The bookshelves, the books have all been burned.
Yeah.
Did we move the bookshelves around to make sure there was nothing behind them?
I mean, I can move if somebody wants. I can move them all if somebody wants to come investigate.
I'm asking, did we do that, Matt? Or can
I
we?
mean, you did a little bit, like as far as like moving things around. If I will allow you all to make one more investigation check for
Okay.
this area.
All right, give them the bardic and the guidance.
yeah,
Quick!
bardic inspo guidance, all of it.
I give them the help action.
Can I give them my non-existent inspiration?
Oh, look! Also, anesthetic gave Corin disadvantage one more time that I forgot to have him do.
So it's
All
just
right,
a
Corin,
normal roll then.
Punch
So
me.
this is what I want you to do. I am going to allow one more investigation roll for you, Corin. They are helping you, so it's going to cancel out the disadvantage. Blaznir can give you one more bardic inspiration and a guidance, so you get a D6 and a D4 added to that.
Okay.
But this is going to be the last roll you get for this area.
Nice.
Base roll is 19, and then another 7, so 26.
Okay.
Yay.
That's better.
So finally, now that you have rolled a 25,
26.
you do. Yeah, well, you needed to roll a 25
DC
to find.
25,
Yeah,
okay.
DC 25 to find this area. You do find that there is actually a hidden panel in the back of the office. It leads to another smaller chamber. You find several tunnels that you spend a few minutes looking around. They interconnect back to the bar area, and there's a few more hidden doorways. This area, too, has actually been relatively cleared out. You find a couple weapons racks that are empty of weapons. You find a shit ton of treasure chests along the walls. You actually find 10 total of them that, as you kind of look through them, you find like maybe a total of 15 copper pieces that have just been dropped and that sort of thing. Maybe a dagger or two, but it's fairly obvious that this area has been cleared out.
Let's
However,
have a bag of holding.
or a lot of people work together to do this. This area has not been touched by the fire in any way. However, there is in the very back of it a small pile of ash and cinder, as though they set another smaller fire to burn something else. In the middle of that, you do find something. It is a piece of paper that is kind of like pressed between a bunch of other papers, and it was kind of stuck together, so while the top and the bottom burned away, like you can peel them back and you find a half-burned parchment in between them. This paper is mostly intact, and it details a contract between Morden Bendleton and the Syndicate, who hired 2 assassins to be sent to Coltrast.
Gasp.
The document doesn't specify what they were there for. The letter just is addressed to somebody, but the name has been obscured. But it asks that for the duration of their hired contract, please give them sanctuary and allow them to do their job.
So he was the one giving sanctuary to them and not the one who hired them?
Correct.
Well, I think that's telling the syndicate to give sanctuary, right?
Correct, yeah. It's asking the local syndicate to give sanctuary to these 2 assassins as they're there for their job. And
do we know who Morden Bendleton is?
You have encountered the name before. If you don't remember it, I'll allow you to make a history check.
Sounds familiar.
I do not remember it, but it definitely does sound familiar. I got a 27.
I got a nat 20!
Very nice. So yes, you do both, like, you hear that name and you say it out loud and you're like, oh, Morden Bendleton was one of the 5-star knights. He was the knight that was away from Coltrast when your group attacked it. He's the one that had taken the dream seed, the extra dream seed they had, to parts unknown. You know that he took it and was taking it somewhere, and that's why he wasn't in Coltrast. But yeah, he was the one that was gone. That wasn't there at all.
Mm-hmm. Is there a date on this contract?
If there is, the thing is burned. So like all the edges are burned, not all the information is there, but this is what the information that you're able to get from reading through it. So Morden Bendleton hired a pair of assassins from the Syndicate to come to Coltrast, and he and the Syndicate was saying, hey, put these guys up while they're doing their job.
Yeah, I think we saw them in the fight. One of them was one of the ones who kept peeking out from the bottom there.
There was 2 assassins that was in that fight, you would remember, yes.
And I've been within 30 feet of them. So, could try to locate object on one of them bitches.
You certainly could.
Tomorrow.
Try.
Because I don't have a spell prepared.
Fair enough.
Not the only one. Wow. there's 2 instances. And just this past, however long, that people didn't have the right spell. Like, I'm just saying. Not the only one. I just do it most often.
Blaznir just had his life affirmed.
Everything's coming up, Blaznir. That's all I'm saying.
All right, let's get out of this cesspool.
Okay. You all make your way out. We're gonna say guards were there with you, helping you. They're all part of the investigation as well. It was just that your group was the one actively doing it, so that's why you got to do the rolls. But from there, Captain Lorient comes over. He's involved as well. He looks over the paper. He tells you that this is a troubling bit of information. Why do you think somebody would hire assassins to come to Coltrast?
Considering it was the time of Lord Veritude, perhaps it was attempting to assassinate the rebel leaders.
Perhaps. Could have also been that he found out that we killed most of the 5-star knights, or as many as we could, and was feeling a bit bitter about it.
Wait, we got bounties put on our head by the.
I don't know.
That's awesome.
I don't want to assume. World don't revolve around us, but sometimes feels like it does.
Well, I mean,
A little fourth wall break.
Hey, Ichabod, not to get off topic, but can I keep this mouse?
Only if you give him. Cute. Why are you asking me for one?
Perhaps you should ask the mouse.
But also, yeah, I quite like him. I think he looks like a little gentleman.
Okay. I'm just gonna put him in a.
What's his name?
His name is Thaddeus.
Thaddeus? I love him.
Thaddeus the mouse coming to live with Debauchery Circus at the mansion.
He's the main character. I'll do anything for Thaddeus. The first time you get hit with a fireball, he gets incinerated in your pocket.
Pretty much, yeah.
He wouldn't.
Oh, he definitely would.
He would absolutely be incinerated.
Absolutely.
No.
Okay, you can keep him, but he has to live in our mansion and never go out on adventures.
But then no one's taking care of him.
Well, he can get all the food I'm bound to drop on the floor.
But what if he runs away?
Why would he want to? Our mansion is awesome. And I drop a lot of food on the floor.
You do.
And I don't have a wife to clean up after me.
I've been meaning to talk to you about that. Could you clean up after yourself just once?
He won't have to if we have a mouse in the house.
Exactly.
Well,
we should get a dog too.
You do have a couple servants that work for you all too.
Yeah, we have servants, so I don't need to. Back home I had a wife. Here I got some servants.
Thaddeus, how do you feel about living in a mansion?
The mouse squeaks at you and says, well, there's nobody here, so probably not the best place for me to find food. So if you got food...
Yeah, we've got a lot of food. We have people that would take care of you 24/7, and yeah.
All right, we gotta post a strict no mousetrap rule so that the servants know.
Oh, I've already had that.
It's not a pest.
That rule is already a thing.
Does Thaddeus have any like kids in there? Does he have like a partner mouse?
Do you have any family in there?
No, just me.
It's just him.
I can relate. Let's go.
I like the name Thaddeus.
He likes it.
Do we want to like check down here or anything, or is there just nothing down there to find?
I kind of feel like it's included in our search, right?
It was included in your search. It was just it was a back room that had a hidden passage that led to the same area that you had just found. So it just kind of circles around.
This is where I saw one of them assassins.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, wait, those were the guys that were hired. Oh, I thought you were talking about someone, like, while we're in the Coltrast Keep way back when.
No.
I see.
So, we were fighting them over here.
So a hit was put out recently, then.
Well, they were still in town, so whoever their target is probably still around.
Well, unless they were finished, but...
Yeah. I don't know.
Oh, if that's it, then I mean, might as well move on.
Yeah.
Okay. Where are you wanting to go from here?
So now we're just kind of whittling down the time until all our stuff is finished and we can take a mission from the Conclave. That's kind of where we're at, right?
Yeah, so basically you had 2 weeks to wait before your gear was finished. So you have 2 weeks, minus like a couple days since you've been back. Do you have any plans for that time?
I want to learn the scrying spell.
We should also probably mention something to Edmund about the 2 assassins.
About the hit. Yeah, I want to tell Edmund about the assassins and then see if he can arrange any work for the thief kids. I didn't want to mention it last time.
Especially, we don't know who the target was.
Yeah, it could be Edmund himself.
Yeah, there was no information about the target itself. I'm trying to think of anything else you might have been able to glean from that one. Other than the fact that missive was probably sent at least relatively recently, that's really about it. Like, because it was badly burned. But you can make your way back to Coltrast Keep. You can. Captain Lorient would be going there as well to inform Edmund about what happened and what you all found. And Edmund's a little bit worried as well, knowing that that the one of the 5-star knights is still out there and sent assassins to Coltrast. And he tells you that he's going to try to start like getting more guards, more militiamen, and he's considering recalling some of the orcs as well to help bolster the defenses. You ask him about a job for the thief kids. Edmund kind of thinks about it a little bit. What exactly? What kind of work are you thinking about, Ichabod? Like guards here, or?
Well, I don't imagine they're much going to go for the whole syndicate raid thing, but they do have skills. That much it can't be denied. So I was thinking if you could make use of anybody with any kind of thief-like skills, but maybe for a better cause, then give them something to do. Being guards might be nice. Being spies, they might be a little better suited towards.
Make a persuasion check, Ichabod.
Okay.
Hey, Matt, I sent you a small message.
Okay.
I got a 13.
13.
13. I just don't want them getting into any trouble, And I thought if we could acknowledge what they're good at and give them something to work towards, it might, keep them off the streets, at least keep them occupied.
And off drugs.
I just want a good life for my son,
Edmund thinks about it for a little bit, and he says, well, I suppose I could invite them up to the keep tomorrow and ask them if they have any interest in working for me in that fashion, or help working to protect Coltrast and that sort of thing.
As far as I could tell, they already thought it was cool that there was a kid leader of this town, so they might be kind of partial to you.
I will send somebody down to invite them to the keep tomorrow, and we'll see what comes of it.
Mm-hmm.
I appreciate it.
Okay. So yeah, you all make your way back to your mansion. Is there anything else you want to achieve in this day? It's probably getting fairly later in the early evening, at least. So it's up to you all. Do you have anything else you want to accomplish today?
I guess try and find out if there's anybody in town who could teach me scrying, or if I'm gonna have to go to the capital.
You would have to. Well, let me see here. Yeah, no, you'd have to go to the capital. The only person in town who would have the spell is a druid, and
Sure,
the archdruid. He wouldn't be able to teach that to you. different
Yeah,
types of
that's fine.
magic. So, sounds like the next day your group is, or at least you are heading to North Amia. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay.
I don't think I have anything that I particularly want to get done today, but I would spend the rest of the time, like, I don't know, hanging out with Fear Not, taking him to church, because I know he still likes to go to church. So I just want to hang out with my son as much as possible, and then if I ever happen to catch Ishmael, since he can fucking never be at home, then I'd like to try to...
I know, it's weird. It's like almost as though he's avoiding you or something like
It's
that.
almost like he's a teen and he doesn't want to see me.
Yeah,
But if I happen to catch wind of him, and definitely before we leave for our mission, I'll find him one way or another.
Sure.
So that I can try to have a word with him.
Okay. So,
It's my special boy.
Yeah. Lapis, is there anything you're wanting to accomplish in the next day or so?
Not necessarily. Other than didn't I have something getting worked on?
Well, you do have a commission being made that's going to take about 2 weeks to work on. And I imagine, like, you all went back to your mansion, you're having a meal, you're sitting down, kind of discussing what your plans are between now and then. Corin says he's heading back to North Amia because he wants to get the scrying spell. Ichabod said that he wants to try to meet up with Fear Not and do some stuff here locally. So you can either just chill at home for the day, you can do whatever you want. You can go with Corin to North Amia. It's up to you. I'm just asking if there's anything in particular you're wanting to accomplish during that time.
Not necessarily. If anybody needs backup or would want company, I'd be more than willing to tag along.
Okay. How about Blaznir? Do you have any things you want to get accomplished in Coltrest?
See, we have like a couple days of downtime.
A week.
You have a couple weeks actually, but
Couple weeks. Oh,
there are certain plot points that are going to happen during that time that I'm going to get to. I just want to know how, if there's anything you want to do in the meantime.
First of all, I'm gonna make sure Thaddeus gets just absolute best house he could.
Sweet digs.
Yeah, like
What kind of house do you make them? Like you have a mansion. Do you just throw them in there and say, "Hey, go find your own home"? Do you like what are you doing?
That's what a mouse would want, though.
Well, so I think because like I want to try to at least keep him contained so he doesn't like get himself hurt or anything.
So overthinking this.
So you want a cage for Thaddeus?
I don't want to. I think I would probably hire like a mason or someone to work on the house.
Build a Barbie doll house for him.
Yeah, to like like just give him like it's technically a cage, but it's open enough to where like he doesn't see it as a cage.
I've never
like
seen Blaznir so invested.
A little mouse mansion.
Yeah, and
it's like a perfect replica of our mansion.
Just mouse sized.
I also kind of want it to like maybe a little mouse-sized tunnels going through the house, and he has like different spots he can be in. And
well, we already established that this house has a dumbwaiter. Like the other house.
Yeah.
Little hamster trails all over, like the hamster tubes.
You're hiring a mason to come over to your house and build elaborate tubes through all the rooms and
in 6 months when we have a terrible mouse problem.
Yeah.
No, it's
it's like why?
He's contained. He's fine.
So go ahead. It's going to cost you about we're going to say 50 gold pieces in total to make all these tunnels and passages and places for the mouse to go, as well as a miniature replica of your mansion that the mouse can go into and then access these tunnels and go around and find little different places all throughout your mansion. So yeah, go ahead and mark off Mark that off. It's going to
Already
take
done.
some time to work on this.
No.
Probably take a week or so to get done, but you
That's-
can do it.
That's fine. And
Yeah.
and beyond that, beyond my druid foolishness, I'm probably gonna do what I usually do and just kind of scope out the town, make sure no one's causing problems and stuff. But this time I'm wearing the demon mask.
Okay, so walking around
Yeah.
town with a demon mask.
Cryptid.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well,
Will the guards accidentally attack you?
No.
The contrast cryptid. Everybody
Well-
posted on Nextdoor. Did you see
Yeah.
this demon walking around town?
Yep.
It's fine.
Can we have a bulletin board that's called Nextdoor?
yes, there's just a big bulletin board in the Colchast
And just
town
a lot of-
center. Yeah.
Was that fireworks or an explosion?
Oh yeah. There's actually a bit of gossip going on right now. Like
I'm
so
gonna read the gossip.
so just
Ooh,
to
gossip. Yes, please.
yeah, just to move things forward a bit. Your group does get a long rest and finish out their day. The next day, you all split off to go about your various business. Corin, you're heading to North Amia, so go ahead and mark off another use of your chalk. Lapis is actually going to have to go with you if you're using the conclave sigil to get there.
Yeah, if she
Oh, and we send a message ahead of time to let them know.
yeah.
Do you? Okay, so
Definitely.
go ahead.
Yes,
Do you-
we learned our
We
lesson.
have plenty of time. We can send them out.
Did you
Yes, I
did you prepare the spell, Corin?
Yes, I have that spell now specifically for that purpose.
Okay, so you have it prepared.
Yes.
Okay. So you send a sending spell. Go ahead and mark that off your sheet. You draw.
Oh, he was just waiting.
You draw
Yeah,
your circle. You cast your spell, and the two of you poof off to North Amia and arrive in the conclave, where you, like Lapis, can just ask, "Hey, can I get a copy of the sending spell? My wizard here needs it for or not sending scrying spell
Scrying.
because my wizard needs it. What level spell is that?
Scrying is 5th, and then the other one I was going to look for is Chain Lightning, which is 6th.
Okay, let me look here real quick.
And then the one other thing that I will need to get is there's a requirement for scrying that is a focus worth at least 1,000 gold that has to be like something
Like
scrying
a
related.
crystal
Yeah, a
ball.
crystal ball.
You should get a mirror.
Font filled
Get a
with holy
mirror,
water,
'cause-
yada yada.
Corin's kind of vain, so you should get him a little mirror.
You're so vain. Probably think this song is bad.
Especially after Corin became an elf, he was like, I'm hot now.
No, that's not what Corin said.
Well, that's how Corin acted.
He was like, I'm so tall. I
Okay.
can reach things without having to stand on stuff.
Okay. Why is this not working? There we go. Okay, so for a scroll of scrying, which you can use to put that into your book, the cost is 1,030 gold.
Okay.
The scroll of chain lightning is 2,050 gold.
30, 2,050 for that, and then 1,000 for the component.
Yeah, the conclave does have a small assortment of scrying focuses that they keep there. They are willing to sell one because they can just go and get one commissioned. And since Lapis is a member of the conclave, and you work with her, they are willing to sell it. It is a 250 gold upcharge for that, so it'd actually be 1,250 gold for
Sure,
it.
that's fine. What's the scrying device?
It's up to you if you want it to be a crystal ball, a mirror, a bowl, whatever.
Sure. I don't know. I'll think about it. I'll just say I buy a scrying device.
Yeah, it's up to you. Some people use a bowl of water. Some people use a crystal ball. Actually, Fontaine used a crystal ball at one point. So it's entirely up to you what it is, what form it is, but it functions the same way.
Yep. And then the other thing that I mentioned is once I have that item that is being created for me, I'm going to do that thing that I told you.
Yes, and that actually would be finished the next day.
Okay.
So you'll be picking that up first thing tomorrow morning.
Cool. I'll pick that up, and since I'm not going to be doing much during the days, I can just cast invisibility or something and make sure that I, can do that without getting discovered.
Absolutely.
Being sus right now.
So while Lapis and Corin are in North Emia, Blaznir, you said you wanted to just put on your demon mask and go wandering about town, looking for trouble or things like that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Pretty much.
Go ahead and make a perception check.
Perception. I am very good at perception. 26.
You spend your day wandering about the city streets, and there's a couple times you notice that there's things like domestic disputes and arguments and things like that. At one point, you spot a little kid pickpocketing a woman near the market. It's up to you if you try to stop them or not, but you would definitely at least have marked that happening.
Sure. Yeah, I think I'll stop it. Just try to discreetly stop him.
Yeah, you could very easily just walk up to the kid or anything like that after the fact.
Well, I mean, like during the fact.
During the fact, okay.
Yeah.
Okay,
Make it clear that you're watching.
Make a stealth check to see if you can catch the kid unawares.
I'm watching
11.
you, Wazowski.
Yeah, no.
Always
You see the kid reach their hand into something, pull something out, and begin walking away. You try to sneak up behind them. They spot you, and they scurry off, running as fast as they can.
I'm not gonna. I don't have hold person prepared, so that kid's lucky. No, wait, I do. Never mind.
Lucky little brat.
Yeah, hold person.
Casting hold person on a child. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
They pickpocketed.
Let's assault some children.
I support you.
What is this? Wisdom saving throw?
Wisdom save of 17.
Okay.
It's a kid. It shouldn't be too wise.
He rolled an 18. It actually was to
Oh,
GM,
never
not
mind.
the public, but you can see it on the screen at least. It definitely was
I
an
don't
18.
believe that.
I don't see it.
Yeah, well, it still happened. He rolled an 18, pushes past the paralyzation, and just disappear into the crowd.
I'll just shrug and go on my way, I guess.
At least you scared him.
Definitely scared him. And then Ichabod, you said you wanted to try to meet up with Fear Not?
Yeah, I want to hang out with my son. So I'll give some notice, whether I leave a letter in their mailbox or I knock on the door and talk to Prudence and say, hey, tomorrow I'd like to take Fear Not out and just have a nice fun day with them.
Yeah, if you actually you're like polite and not barge into their house, they're more likely to be cordial to you than just entitlement and all that. So if you say, hey, I just want to hang out with Fear Not tomorrow, I have nothing to do. Prudence doesn't take much convincing. Just make a quick persuasion check.
Sick.
How do you?
Persuasive.
Yeah, you're not very
Hey,
persuasive at all.
That depends, Matt. Has
Yeah.
it been a while since two of them have gotten some time and therefore maybe granting him advantage?
Who
What?
mean Fear Not?
No.
What are you talking about?
Yeah, I don't
Talking
understand
about-
either.
Maybe they haven't had the house alone. Maybe they've had a bunch of kids around all the time.
Yeah, maybe.
Oh, okay.
Maybe
Okay. You know what? So if Ichabod, you want to frame it in a way that, hey, you know, I bet you and Mavesies need some time alone.
I would definitely not say that. But I would say, I know you've been stuck watching the kids, you know, all this time, and you've had more than usual in your home, but I just figured you could have a day to yourself to do whatever you like.
Yeah, I'll let you make one
Like
more
each
persuasion
other.
check.
That 20!
It's either 20s or nothing with you. There's
Yeah,
no
I know,
middle
I'm
ground.
just all over the place.
Welcome for that.
I just want to hang out with my son.
Yeah, actually, Prudence says, well, that would actually be very helpful.
With the nat 20, can he stay the night?
In fact, yes, he can absolutely stay the night with you at the mansion. She and Mavesies, she tells you, Edmund found them a house nearby, basically at the top of the lower city, so it's not far from where y'all at. A fairly nice house, and Mavesies has enough money that he could put a down payment on it. And she also tells you that Mavesies was hired by Edmund to be his new major domo.
Prudence, I have to say, I'm really happy for you. And I know that I had kind of offered a little bit of financial help from before. I know you probably don't want to accept all of that, but I hope that you would take a little something from me, since it will be the home that my children will live in. And I want to offer her 1,500 gold pieces.
Make one more persuasion check. One more, you get advantage this time as well, because you're fairly cordial.
23.
Then I'm going to say yes. She says, well, let's call this, instead of help for buying a place, just child support. Yeah.
All right,
and
fine, I'll take it.
If you want to help contribute to the children financially, that would be greatly appreciated.
So you're saying he's no longer a deadbeat dad. Got it.
No, I will. I already talked to Matt about I was going to give her a stipend whether we were together or not.
Mm-hmm.
So she's going to get monthly payments from me.
Yeah.
But
all right, yeah,
I give her 1,500 gold pieces. I might have to arrange and kind of, because I imagine I'm probably not carrying all my money with me, but you know.
Yeah. You got your coin purse of holding that Lapis carries around, but you can gather it up and bring it over to her, no problem. And they'll probably use that to help their lives. But yeah.
And then I take Fairnot on a day. We can ride the horses around. I imagine I've lived in Coltress for a little bit, so I know all the good little lookouts.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
We can go down to the river. We can try to go fishing, and then if he's gonna stay the night, take him back to the mansion and show him how we got a cool ass hot tub.
Yeah, we do.
Yeah, you got an awesome hot tub down there. You got all your rooms. You even have your little shrine if you wanted to show him that.
No, that's
no. Fair enough.
I want him to see my new cat of nine tails.
Yeah. That's actually valid. That's valid.
Yeah. But whatever he wants to do, I take him to do it.
As somebody just new to the city, he kind of just enjoys exploring the area.
So just follow him around.
Yeah.
If he sees anything that strikes his fancy, that's what we'll go do. He's like the only person in my family who still likes me. So, like, thanks, fear not.
Yeah, absolutely. So
my morale increases.
You have a nice day together.
Mm-hmm.
It's been another day. Everybody's back to Coltress. You have your spells and all that, Corin. You had your sleep. You spend the day together with Ichabod. You come home. You have your sleep out. All that stuff. It's going pretty well. Were you wanting to use those spells, Corin, at any point, or?
Yeah. I can use the invisibility spell, and I think that's the main one that I'll need.
Invisibility? What are you trying?
No, you're talking about scrying. Yes,
yeah,
I can definitely scry him. Yeah. I'm thinking. So what I was thinking for my scrying sensor is, how about an hourglass, where I have the sand come down, and then as it's coming down when I'm casting the spell, the sand sort of forms into pictures.
Sure, I dig it. Cool. Yeah, absolutely.
Because I'm a time mage, so I figured that would be appropriate. But yes, let me pop the scrying spell in chat.
Okay. So my question is this: who are you trying to scry upon?
Probably Tenenbaum.
Okay.
And I'll have the piece of cloth as a physical connection if I need to grab it from the guard's house or whatever, or borrow it for that. I assume they would have no problem.
I think I took it.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty sure Ichabod took it.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I imagine this is after Fear Not has gone. Well, Fear Not can be around. I don't care.
It could be like the day you arrived. Because the day you arrived, that's when Fear Not was staying the night. So you could just grab it from Ichabod.
We're in the hot tub.
Well,
and Fear Not's like, wow, Father, I've never been in this much water at one time before. This is so amazing.
I know, pretty cool, right?
Yeah, this is really neat. And this is where all of you and your friends hang out when you're planning your adventures.
Yeah, most of the time it's right here. It's just so cozy, and to be honest, I've never had anything like this before either. So you know how I grew up.
if you're in there for too long, I will accidentally walk out to be using the hot tub, immediately see that your son is there, and turn back around. Not wearing clothes.
Do you get dressed and come back?
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, this is Corin. He's my friend.
Yeah.
I bet it is. Fear Not's oblivious. He's a kid. He's like
a time mate.
Flashing around.
Yeah. So you can get the piece of cloth from Ichabod. So let's see here. Here's the knowledge modifiers. You do know him firsthand. That gives you a +5.
It gives him a -5. Well, it says blah blah blah. Let's see. Knowledge save modifier.
+5 to the save DC.
Yeah, you have heard of the target. He gets a +5 if we don't know anything. But if we've met him, he gets a +0. If we know him well, he gets a -5.
Let's see here.
See, I'm assuming it's just you pick one of these, whichever is the best modifier.
Well, I think it's out of both of them. So you get the knowledge save modifier, and then you get the connection save modifier. So he gets a -4 because we have possession or garment of his.
That's fair.
And then I imagine we're just we just have met him, so we know him firsthand. I wouldn't say we're familiar with him.
Yeah. So you are getting the +4 or the -4 on the roll because of the possession or garment and all that stuff. So let's see how well Tenenbaum rolls. You guys aren't going to see it, but the
+5 is
will.
to his roll, I guess.
No, he's not getting any. He gets a +0 because we have met him firsthand, and then he gets a -4 because we have his garment.
Oh, okay.
Correct.
+5 would be if somebody had just said, "Hey, scry on this guy Tenenbaum that I know of."
Gotcha.
Know?
Yeah,
my normal save DC is a 17.
Okay. So you cast your spell and begin looking into your hourglass, watching the sand trickle downward. And as it does, it begins to swirl about, and you begin to see shapes forming in the sand. The sand, your vision kind of goes gray for a moment, and I imagine your eyes kind of just cloud over as your vision goes past, and you look down to see a familiar figure on a horse. This figure is black, wearing a black hood, or a black cloak and a hood, but the hood is pulled back, and you can see the familiar naked cat features of Tenenbaum. He is riding on a horse. He seems to be riding down the road. It's we're going to say it's probably around 6 o'clock in the evening, so the sun is starting to set at this point, but you can definitely tell that he's on the horse and he's riding somebody. You can also hear, but you cannot see. You can hear the sound of multiple hoof beats, and go ahead and give me a perception check.
Sure. 19.
It definitely sounds like there's at least 2 pairs of horse hoofbeats coming somewhere from behind Tenenbaum, as though he has at least 2 other people riding with him. Yes,
Okay.
but he's far enough ahead of them. Like, it's obvious that he's in the front riding and they're behind him, so you can't see their features, but you definitely know he's at least traveling with 2 people.
Okay.
Based on the setting of the sun, just the direction of where the shadows go, you can correlate that. Basically, like you're a pretty smart guy, so you can correlate that. Chances, it seems like he's riding along the road heading east.
Okay. I'll just keep up the spell for as long as it allows me and look for any sort of landmarks. It lasts for up to 10 minutes. So.
Okay. So it lasts for up to 10 minutes. I'm going to look at my map because I'm going to see whether or not you can see any features on his path.
I look at Fear Not and I'm like, don't worry about his cloudy eyes. This happens all the time.
You said east is what they were going?
Yeah, east.
Okay.
We're gonna say that at one point, they do pass a little bit of a landmark, a bit of broken what's the word I'm looking for? Broken wall with one of those, big marble columns on one side that's like an end piece or something like that. That it seems familiar to you. You've seen it at least once before. Go ahead and make a history check.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. 13.
Difficult to tell. It definitely rings a bell. You've seen it. You've gone past that wall at least at one point on your in your life, but you can't remember where exactly it is.
Can he describe it to me and see if I know?
I suppose.
Yeah. History.
I don't see why not. He could definitely describe it and see whether or not anyone else recognizes it. And you're the only other one there.
I don't. I got a nat one.
No clue whatsoever.
Recognizes it.
I've got no clue what you're talking about, Corin.
What's a wall?
Yeah,
Oh, you know what?
Nothing like it in my life.
I'm gonna roll for Fear Not. Why not?
Fear Not. You ever heard anything like this, kid?
Come on.
I mean,
Fear Not.
his stats are literally a commoner's, so not expecting a whole lot, but you never know.
This ain't no
But he
comment.
could roll a 20.
What is history? I can't remember.
It's intelligence.
Intelligence, thank you. Well, it's
Is
a 10
he a
either way.
Smart boy.
Nope. He has no clue either.
Fair enough. Fair enough, Fear Not. I gotta get this kid some education. They got school around here? He can't be as dumb as I am.
I'll at least just try and draw out what I saw.
Okay, yeah. You go back to your room. Ichabod and Fear Not are still down there. You go up to your room, and you begin drawing out what you can. Go ahead and give me a performance check. Do you have are you like proficient in artist tools of any sort? So
No.
just straight performance then.
Okay. Would that be charisma or intelligence?
I feel like it's charisma.
Because I'm not trying to influence people. I'm trying to translate something that I saw onto paper.
But it's still a creative process. You're still having I'll also allow like a sleight of hand.
Oh well, then I'll definitely do that.
Well, take the same number and just add that. You rolled a 4, so you
Should
would
be
be
a
a 14.
Yeah.
Okay, 14 isn't too bad. You sit down and you start sketching it out, and it's not like it's not a beautiful artist's rendition by any stretch of the imagination, but it's enough to get the point across.
Okay. Cool.
Is there anything else you want to do for that day? As a
I'm
group
pretty
or anything like
satisfied.
that? Yeah.
Yeah, just
I'm satisfied with ending with my sleepover.
Okay. Then actually, I
What's
think that it's actually after 6. I just noticed. So yeah, I'm gonna say that with that, we're gonna go ahead and end things here with Ichabod having a sleepover with Fear Not, Corin scrying on Tenenbaum, and the rest of the team just kind of spending time relaxing and keeping an eye out on Coltrast. So, thank you to everyone who watched this evening. We very much appreciate you tuning in. Come back and hang out with us again in 2 weeks, because next Monday we are actually going to be off since it is Halloween. So we'll be back in 2 weeks. I am actually going to put the Halloween one-shots as a rerun on that Monday, so we'll still have something aired, but anyone watching this on YouTube, that doesn't matter. But anyway, thank you very much for watching. We very much appreciate you tuning in. We hope to see you again. If you're watching this video on Twitch, please follow us and subscribe. If you're watching this on YouTube, please like and subscribe, and even give us a comment. Let us know how much you're enjoying it. So we very much appreciate it if you can. So on behalf of everyone here in the Debauchery Circus, I want to say once again, thank you for watching. Have a great evening, and we'll see you next time. Good night.
Bye-bye.
Bye.